YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? First time. Go ahead. Hit doggone subscribe button. Hit notification bell every time I post new content. Got my big bro on the other end. We gonna talk. We gonna talk about these so-called giants, right? That for the most part they never left, right? They just uh took on a new shape and form as well as names, right? So I actually was watching TikTok yesterday, and basically what happened, it was just one guy, and you know this too, people, and it's kind of like what really kind of makes me sick about people. They'll get on something, they'll get on a podcast, right? And then they could be like, okay, they really think that they talking about something, but in all actuality, once you actually really break that shit down, they really ain't talking about a whole bunch of nothing. But then I thought about it, and I'm just like, he right in a sense. I mean, because AT&T, Verizon, Exxon, T-Mobile, right? These are giants of the world. And then if you actually really look at it from a professional sports standpoint, you have the NFL, the NBA. Who's on the logo of the NBA? And then you got the MLB, NHL, you got boxing, right? So it's like what I said, the Giants never left. They just took on new names and new forms of identity, if you will. So what you got on that, big bro?
Uh, well, that's a lot to say. I mean, we live in a society that anything corporation represents evil in some kind of one way. You know, they taking over. You know, they swooping up the people, slave wages. They're portrayed in movies like in Alien. Uh, the corporation is being portrayed as an evil entity. It's
Yeah.
full. It's all on TV. So we kind of grow up making these corporations. I'm thinking, in some cases, biblical.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I just think we've been kind of programmed to look at them like that. And
Yeah.
now, when you say the giants of the land, are you using this from the Bible,
Yeah. I mean, because
like of the Nephilim?
yeah, yeah, like those people, when they, however they showed up, right? But I just kind of like, I don't know how you are about aliens,
Yeah,
if they
the
if they
alien
act like,
vibration.
yeah, if they exist or do they exist, right? Um, Me personally, I'm just like, okay, if aliens did come here, right? Why they always crashing and burning, right? Soon as they get caught up in the atmosphere with all that doggone technology, right? But they can't, for whatever reason, they can't handle the gravitational pull of the earth.
Yeah, it makes no earthly sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. So like a lot of it, you know, because I used to watch what's that show on the History Channel, Ancient Aliens, and and I'm just like, okay, so if they're here, then where the spaceships at, and then how come that when you look at the body structure, right, they kind of look like human beings almost, I mean, you got the over exaggerated head, the little slim body, the little fingers and whatever. but so I'm just like, but this is what the hell you expect for me to believe in? That okay, aliens didn't visit our planet, right?
Mhm.
And some of it, if not all of it, I question.
Ri-
So go ahead.
I mean, I mean, remember when we were younger, um, you used to get a taste of and when they talk about Egypt uh, and the symbols and the signs that's on the walls. I mean, a lot of that information is borrowed from there, right? The symbols that we
Yeah,
see displayed today, we know part where they come from, at least the blueprint of them. I
yeah,
mean, imagine this is supposed to be a great civilization, and and so these giants, I mean, they have to portray that power. I mean, like you said, giants, the tall skyscrapers, I mean,
yeah,
towering over and over everybody. Why do they do that? Why do they build them build so tall all the way up to the sky? I mean,
yeah,
is there intentional? I mean, it's a power play involved, especially for the rich cats.
yeah,
They want to be seen and be
yeah,
heard. But on the other side, these corporations, AT&T and all these guys, they employ a lot of people,
yeah,
and yeah, and from my standpoint, I can't make everybody evil in that tower,
yeah,
tower about. I can't make them all evil because they just regular folks working in there trying to get them a new car, keep a roof over their head, feed their
yeah.
families. So,
So yeah, I mean, so like what I'm saying is,
mm,
it's not to say that the Nephilim, not to say that all of them were evil, right?
true, that's a fact.
But
See,
yeah, so basically what I'm saying is, it's just for the stuff like, okay, that although they may not be in human form no more, but they still here. Just like when I talked about the AT&T, the T-Mobile, Exxon, and then as well as with professional sports, then you got Hollywood, then you got the record labels, and then the stuff that they're actually really putting out, whether you identified as being negative or positive,
right.
it's still
Hollywood
out there.
is
It's
Hollywood
still
is
out there.
definitely negative.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
know,
don't,
right? 'Cause I done
I
heard
don't care
some.
what you're doing. It's just something about that. I
Yeah,
mean, I
I
mean,
mean because I hear people, I hear like some of the folk, right? I've heard it from Corey Holcomb. I heard it from Eddie Griffin. I've heard it from a lot of people where that okay, and then Cat Williams. I think he really put it on blast. Like in that first concert, he said, "Well, he said he like, well, I ain't never been rich. I just got where I just got me a real good piece of money, and then I go to these parties, and then you look in a room, and then you see some shit that you really ain't supposed to see, right?" you know, so it's just for the simple fact, like, and then here it is, regular people coming into this, right? And then you might have heard about it, but then when you actually really see this shit up close and personal, then you be like, oh shit, these motherfuckers is really like this.
what I have to believe is there, no doubt,
Yeah,
no doubt it's there. I mean, if it's in a trap house down the road, same
yeah, yeah, yeah,
behavior, it's up there too.
yeah,
What they say, what's on earth is in heaven.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's in
And
heaven is
so,
on earth. Yeah,
yeah,
so it's a pickle.
yeah. So and for the most part, I get it. People be like, okay, well, what you want to be when you grow up? And what's as far as like you ask any black kid, right? They were like, okay, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? you either they either about to say football player, basketball player, boxing, or being a rapper.
Right.
You know, very seldom do you hear black kids say, "Well, look, I want to be a doctor, lawyer, scientist, whatever the case may be." But then, if you actually really stop and look at it, right? Okay, say you want to be a doctor, right? Knowing
Right.
that, knowing how, knowing how expensive medicine is,
True.
right? And then, if you really don't have like no type of medical insurance or whatever, or even if you do have medical insurance, right?
Right.
They gonna charge you out their ass, or it could be something that for the most part that is really something simple, right?
Crucial.
And they steady, they're steady. I like that with the fox there because if you actually really look at that, if you put it in order, it act fox, according to gematria, it actually really comes out as 666. So but
Oh
it's
yeah.
just,
Hold
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Let me look at that again.
Yeah, yeah. Do the gematria.
Fuck.
Just do the gematria
That's
calculator.
that's
Type up
Fox
Fox.
News, Fox
Yeah.
News or Fox
This
the
just
corporation.
type it up. Yeah, I think
Okay.
you probably could do like Fox by itself, or you could do
Okay.
Fox
Fox
News.
Nation.
But
Is it Fox
yeah,
Nation?
yeah. It's because again they got so many of them, right?
Okay. Yeah, true
Because
that.
it was actually like really because the dude that I saw it, he actually like really broke that shit down, and it actually like really comes out to doggone 666. Just like
Right. Let me check
just
it.
just like with CNN, or as I like to call Channel 33, right? You turn it, you take the CNN logo and then you shift it a certain way, and it actually like really spells out the number 33. So it's just a lot of stuff that I've actually really picked up over the years
Right. Let me
on all that
let me
kind of stuff. But
see
as
if I
far
can
as like
find
like
that.
the but just like as far as like the medical field goes, right? Now depending on who you believe,
Uh,
right? I mean,
right.
even with you put it this with all of the technologies, regardless of field, right? Whether it's technology or doggone medicine, you're right. You cannot make me believe that there is not a cure for cancer. But then once again, these are the the doctors, the insurance companies, right? They want to keep this shit going,
Mhm.
right? Because I was looking like this, because if you gave a cure for every doggone thing, then what the hell you need to go see the doctor for? You know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's definitely yeah, well, they always trying to cock block natural healers,
yeah,
try to make it illegal, unlawful, you know.
yeah,
To Dr. Sebi, may he
yeah,
rest in
yeah,
peace. Yeah.
yeah,
He had the battle in New York about that.
yeah. And so like with him, and it's this other guy, right? I can't call his name off right now, but he acts like really have made like an engine that can actually like really go just as fast as an electrical car or even a gas operated car. It can actually like really go just as fast, and then he did it off of like plastic, right? You put the plastic in the engine, and then it do what it need to do, and then
Crucial.
then so then there it is. I forget that dude's name because he was actually like, because I was watching him, right, and then I was looking at the comments, right, and then everybody said, "Hey, look, y'all need to protect this brother," right? I mean, because here it is, he done came up with something where that for the most part, okay, you ain't gotta go get no electrical car, you ain't gotta get no gas operated car, right? You could get this stuff that's running off of plastic or whatever. And then I mean now I don't get I don't know how they would actually
You
really
said,
do it.
excuse me, brother. You said it
What's
was
that?
okay. Hold on one second. Let me. Is this the guy you talking about?
Yeah, that's him there. That he made that he did that engine, and it either runs off of plastic or water. But I want to say that it's plastic, right? And so, like I said, he got videos out there or whatever. So
Julian Brown.
yeah. So I'm just like, okay, if he ain't protected, y'all might want to like keep a close eye on him, right? I mean, because if you actually really stop and think about it,
Right.
it's people like him, as well as Nikola Tesla, right? That they kill off,
Right.
they
You know
kill
they
off,
cock
right?
blocked Tesla.
Yeah, they did. So,
Yeah.
so I'm just like,
Edison, he Edison pulled a serious
I know, right? So,
yeah, that Edison man. In the film
yeah,
industry too,
yeah,
because he put some cock block moves on that. You know, only his film company it exists at one time.
yeah,
That damn
and
Thomas
it's just
Edison.
yeah, and
And
then it's just for the simple fact,
yeah,
okay, I get it, I get it. There's always gonna be competition, right? I mean, but I also look at the
right.
simple fact, okay, it's thing got real serious when you feel like that you got to go knock off somebody else, you know.
Yeah,
So
no
it's
doubt.
always been the dog eat dog or kill or be killed. It's that mentality has been going on for ages, right? You know,
Yeah.
and
Tom,
and then
the
it's just
other
for the
guy
simple fact a
wanted to
lot of
make
people go ahead.
yeah, the other guy he wanted to make the electricity free
Yeah,
to
yeah,
people, but Edison said,
uh,
no free shit here.
yeah.
Go
That's what
ahead,
I'm
brother.
saying. So it's just that when people, and see, here's another thing too, what that always get me right. You get all these powerful executives, right? And then, but how come we're the only ones that sit up here that say, "Hey, look, it's enough for everybody to eat," right?
Right,
You don't hear you don't hear the top white executives. You don't hear them saying that. It's always with us, and not to say that it's a problem, right? But I'm just like, okay, well, how come everybody ain't saying it? Because if you got a product and if it's good enough, right, then
right,
of course you go eat, right? So I'm just like, okay, so
right.
why would
True.
you? Why I mean, you and I both know why, right? But I'm just like, okay, but okay, he's small. I mean, like he's small peanuts to what the fuck that you have already established. So what you bother with him for, or what you bother with her for, right? Everybody had a right to doggone push their product out there, regardless of, I mean, because when it's all said and done, it's always gonna be up to the consumer whether or not we want to buy your product or not. You know,
True.
so I mean, but that's why I'm saying like this stuff with that's why I call them giants, right? I mean, because
Right.
you already know that ain't nobody finna touch the NFL. I mean, you can call yourself trying to. I mean, because look, they've done it too many times to try to take down the. Because remember back in the '80s with the USFL, then that fell through, right? Then that shit what Vince McMahon tried to do with the XFL, that shit fell through, right? And then you got this new league that's out there now. I forget. I forget what they call it, but it's not. It's not gonna. Just know that the NFL it doesn't feel threatened. That's just like with the WNBA, right? And then they sitting up here hollering about, well, we want as much as the male players. I'm like, okay, can you dunk a basketball,
Well, I
right?
mean, it's yeah, it's still. up to the consumer, right? I mean, the
Yeah,
consumer, if if it's a demand to see it,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it could take. I mean, we talked about the politics. It's Republican and Democrat. These are
yeah.
the picks you get. Of course, they gave it a shot. I mean, you remember
Yeah.
when we had the football league. Remember,
Yeah.
Arkansas had a football. They played in the stadium. What was that
Okay.
football?
Okay.
And so did Tennessee, right? Which
Yeah.
later on became what the what, I'm
What?
not on the football heavy. They call it Tennessee with what? Buck what they call
Oh,
not
oh, you talking about Tennessee Titans?
tight, right. Remember
Yeah,
now.
they was the Houston Oilers at one point. So they left out of Houston and came to
Oh,
Tennessee, right?
it's I forgot all about that. Like I say, I ain't deep
Yeah.
into it. I was thinking, my mind, that I remember when they was having that inside stadium football.
Yo, I know what
Tennessee had
you talking about you talking about the Arena League.
the Rental Leagues. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what that was called.
the Arena League football because to my understanding, Terrell Owens, after he did his NFL career, eventually that's where he ended up at. He ended
Okay.
up
Oh
playing.
yeah.
He ended up playing like arena league football. But shit, Terrell Owens is just as old as I am. So I'm just
Gotcha.
like, okay, dog, what the fuck did you do with your money when you was in the NFL, right?
I mean,
It's,
did he ever file bankruptcy? Or I mean, did he wasn't a splurge? Maybe he had
I
money. He
mean,
just
but
want to play
the thing
football.
about it though, the
Uh-huh.
thing about it though, he at one time he did have a reality show, right? And so he was like in the he had like actually really created some of his businesses or whatever. But then for the most part, if you really don't know how to manage your money, right, you got more money coming out than what the hell you got coming in.
Okay, what's his name again?
Terrell Owens,
Terrell.
yeah. I mean because he actually like really bounced around the league. I mean because he played for San Francisco. He went from San Francisco to Dallas. Then he went from Dallas to Buffalo. Then he went from Buffalo to Cincinnati. And then, like I said, he ended up in the Arena Football League, right? So,
Gotcha.
a lot of a lot of
That's
people.
not him, is it?
Yeah, that's it. That's
That's
T.O.
Tariq.
Oh, it's
Okay.
Terrell. I forget. It's Terell. I think that's how you spell his name. Terrell Owens.
Right.
Or just put in T.O.
Tariq.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's Terrell. It's Terrell Owens. So or just put in T.O. It should pop up. But
Yeah.
like I say, this motherfucker, I'm like a couple of months older than he is, and I get it. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you would still go out there and play, then okay. But you 50 plus. Somebody go out there and knock you on your ass real good, it's all over. So
Well, uh, I checked that uh Ice Cube, what you sent, and
yeah,
they
the
were
big
talking
three, yeah,
about
with
the
the big three.
age, but
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't there be a old man's league when that
Well, see,
generates
that's
some money?
so now what you're talking about. See, that's what Ice Cube has done when it's called the big three, right? And so basically,
Yes.
like players that at one point that played in the NBA, right? They retired or whatever, and then it's just like, okay, well, hey, guess what? If you still want to play, then we got this for you.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And but then again, with Walt Disney, which for the most part is another corporate giant, that's under the Hollywood umbrella, right? Because Disney now they got ESPN and I know they have ESPN. I don't know who else they got, but Ice Cube falls up under that. you
Crucial.
know. So, and then for him to actually really come out and say what he said it was either a few months back or a few years back, where he actually really come out and say, well, I'm not a part of the club. I wasn't invited to the party. Yes, you were. And you still in the party, right? I mean, you ain't doing rap songs no more. You ain't calling nobody bitches and hoes no more, but you still in the thick of it, right? You just doing it from a different perspective, right? So you know,
I
I
mean,
mean,
he keep
because I
moving
just
and
look at it like
grooving.
this. I'm just looking at it like this. Once you in that shit, once you in that shit, ain't no talking about okay, well, I'm done.
Oh,
No,
what you saying? You ain't saying his soul is soul heavy.
I mean, cause think about it. I
I
mean,
mean,
because out of all of what the hell you did, or what the hell Ice Cube did throughout his career, right? He was with NWA. Then he broke off. He did Boys in the Hood, right? And then he did all these movies,
I mean,
right?
that's talent. That's talent,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, it's talent, yeah,
Yeah,
talent, yeah. But I'm just like, okay. Now, when he was with NWA, okay, then okay, that's money that you got to split. But then when you went solo, right? Then whatever the record company was paying you, right? Okay, then okay, of course the record company they gonna get their cut, then you get yours, and then you go into movies. I mean, I get it. You want to actually really see what the hell you can do, right? But don't
right.
sit up here, don't sit up here and say, "Hey, I'm not a part of the club." Yes, you are. So I mean, whether you funded this with your money or whether you're getting funded, guess what? You still a part of it. Plain and simple.
Well, uh, yeah. I mean, I guess we have to wait and see. I mean, but like I say, I still see uh, a brother that had a dream, you
Yeah,
know, and so like you talked about earlier about dreams and what we teach our youth what to be when they grow up, or
yeah,
I mean, so I'm still looking at a businessman,
yeah.
you know.
I
Yeah,
mean, just like I said, business savvy. Yeah, I get that to it. Put like this. I for the most part, I give it to anybody. But
yeah,
it's just for the simple fact that I'm just like, okay, you know, what, I mean, are you on the A list? Are you on the A list, the B list, or the C list? Because if you're on the C list, then you can't hang out with everybody at the big table. You sitting over here by yourself, in a sense. It's kind of like almost like at Thanksgiving where you got two tables, all the grown up folks are at one table, and all the
right,
kids are at one table, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so here it is, and then here it is, you a grown ass man, and you sitting over here with the little kids,
Well,
because whatever the hell that, because whatever the hell the people doing over there on the A list, right? They're doing everything what Cat Williams said that he saw them doing. you know?
okay, okay. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Well, well, he's saying it's not a choice. I mean, what if he don't want to sit over there?
Okay, then. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And then I've heard a lot of people in the industry say that, okay, we can show you what the hell is going on over here, right?
right.
And then you could be like, okay, well, all right, I go in there and I see it, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Then they say, okay, well, you got to come over here. You still gonna get your money, right? But you're not gonna get you're not gonna get top dollar, in a sense. I mean, but then again, once you actually really stop and think about it, depending on where you come from, how you was brought up, you know, anything that that supersedes what you've been making is always gonna be top dollar, right? So I, it just, it is what it is, but it's just for the simple fact with all of this stuff that's going on, you know, uh, either on this side or you on that side, or you straight down the middle with with a lot of things. It's just for the simple fact, okay, you really got to know who you dealing with, right? And then it's just for the simple fact, okay, when it changes, which I swear, I think this, it changes everywhere from every 10 to 12 years. It's something new, right? I mean, but it's on a rotational basis, right? Because look at what happened in '91, right? It was Desert Storm that happened in '91. 10 years later, 9/11 happened, right? So, but then again, whoever that wasn't like this, so '91 happens, and so say like you was born in '95, right? So by the time 2001 comes around, the Twin Towers come around, right? You too young to remember that. But then you go 10 years further on down the road, now it's to 2011, right?
Right.
And so this country has always been at war with some damn body because
Or
that brings you together.
supplying money to somebody in a
Yeah,
war. So
yeah,
yeah, they even that. You count the in betweens. They supplying arms, like they supplying arms to Israel, fake real. I mean,
yeah.
and
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Ukraine. Yeah,
Yeah. Fake
you
real.
know,
Okay, I got that.
yeah,
You know.
and and so you right. They're always in something, and
Yeah.
then but yeah, yeah,
But
with that big corporation.
you know, I just feel like, okay, considering what their objective is, right? I mean, like for the most part, for the people that actually really work for these corporations, right?
Right,
They act like really don't know. Okay, you get the 9 to 5 guy or the 9 to 5 woman or whatever the case may be, right?
right,
They get up, they go to work, right? And then they just do what the hell they do, right? And then they go back home, and then okay, then the shit is on repeat, right? I mean,
right,
but you gotta actually really stop and look at it for a minute, right? Okay, because I used to work for the co, before once I got out,
right.
I had to hurry up, or I felt like I had to hurry up and get another job, right? So I worked for the cable company,
Okay,
right? And so you okay, so it's like this, right? Okay, you got your cable, you got your internet, and then
mm.
if you want the phone, okay, we can throw the phone in as well, right? But
Okay, I need
then
that. I need that internet, and
yeah,
I need that
and,
cable.
yeah, and so again, right? So again, so because you look at it like, because to be perfectly honest, and I don't know if we actually really said this last time, but here's the deal: everything that you probably saw like in the 50s and 60s, okay, like, and the 70s, right? 9 times out of 10, they already had that technology in play.
Oh, no
Star
doubt.
Trek, put like this. Star Trek is the original series. That's
Yeah.
a prime example. Everything that you saw on that particular show has now became reality, right? Because here it is. Prime example. This is what we doing right now, right? You know,
Right.
uh, to be able to do like a VTC or whatever the hell that you actually really want to call it, right? Back in the '60s, that's what they did, and so it actually really makes me think. Okay, These people had that technology way back then, right? And then they did it, they tested it out, they manipulated the best way that they could. And then once they got tired of it, then what the hell did they do? Right? They give it to they give it to us. They give it to the consumer, right? Because look how big the cell phones were back in the 80s, late 80s, going into the 90s, compared to a cell phone now. They had car
You
phones
said,
back then,
oh
right?
yeah, you talking about? I mean, you talking that they had car phones in the '60s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So, but the thing about it though is this: only a select few. I mean, put it
Oh,
like this: if you had the money, then okay, yeah, you go get your car phone. You know, so it's just for the simple fact that all of this stuff. And see, and this is what this right here. This is what I be talking about right here. You know, everybody wants to depend on holler about social media this, social media that, social media the other. But hey, but guess what? Back in the day when it was only three channels, shit, that was our motherfucking social media because they would talk about shit
that's
all
right.
over the world. You
Yeah,
know?
that's right. I mean, when you get to watch the world boxing, I mean, big
Yeah,
time
that was
boxing
social
without pay
media.
per view.
Yeah, that was
you,
that
you,
was social media. And then
you
once
can
they
see.
feel like, okay, well, guess what? So they be like, okay, we get money, but okay, what can we do to actually really get some more money? So like with the cable, and then came the cable, then there was the pay-per-view, right? So, but then you get even now, you got to come off of money for that stuff. And so I remember I used to get so pissed off of paying when because when Tyson was out there, I got tired of paying for pay per view for his ad because he gonna knock you out any damn way.
Oh
And so I
yeah,
was
I'm
like,
sure.
okay, so I done paid. So what you telling me, right? I done paid $45 for a fight, and then he gonna
Yeah,
last. Then he gonna go past the first round.
that's right. Folks were complaining.
So
I mean, it's
so after a
funny.
while, I left that shit alone,
Yeah, folks
right?
was complaining, talking about what? I mean,
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm
you can
saying.
Netflix, you can watch the fight. What $7?
Yeah, and so then, like I say, and then even like with some of the fights, uh, now, right? I just wait. You know what? I'll wait till the fight is over, and then I go catch it on YouTube,
Yeah,
right?
you can.
Because
Some
I'm
fights
not
I
gonna.
like to catch. Like I wanted to. What's the last? It was when. Lord have mercy.
We good,
When.
fam. So yeah, but
Yeah,
so
I
it's
got
just
trying
like
to keep thinking.
it's just like okay, and then with with the stuff that's out there now, right? Now they got shit out there now where that okay, well you ain't gotta pay for cable no more, right? You get the little whatever the fuck, and then okay, you can pull from the actual signal, whatever whatever the hell that may be, right? So I'm just like okay, and so again, I have to ask questions. Okay, you got this shit out now. You present it now, right? But how long have you had this technology? See what I'm saying? Because all this stuff can actually really be tapped into, right? Because remember, at one point it was just called TV. Now it went from TV. Oh, now we live streaming. Okay, it's still the same shit. I'm
Well,
just like,
it's still the boob tube, as they would say, but
yeah. So
yeah.
I was like, but again, it's just like, okay, and so this is what the corporate giants do.
Well, some of that stuff. Uh, well, the corporate giant is okay. Well, you call it the corporate giant, but that new technology. Now, some of that didn't have to do with them. There's
Yeah,
these
yeah.
young bucks coming up with this new approach, This
Yeah.
is what the corporates have to compete with it now.
Yeah.
This new approach. You know what I'm saying? But that internet, see, that technology was back when military owned it first.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the guy that brought it to them
Yeah.
because they wanted a way to communicate more secretly. So the
Uh,
guy came up with the so-called internet, and but after a while, the military gave it away. The government said, "Well, that we don't
yeah.
need." So we other folks took it and used it, and give thanks and praise. Well, what they say, another man trash is
Yeah.
another
That
man's
man's treasure.
treasure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
now we
yeah.
get to communicate faster, quicker, you know, and that, well, of course, the government is another corporation, ain't it,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
sense,
Uh-huh.
because
I mean, because if you actually really stop and think about it, like, okay, like I said, we talked about AT&T,
yeah,
Verizon, Exxon, Chevron, Shell, the NFL, all that kind of stuff. But then out of all of them, right, you got to look at, okay, well, they got guidelines that they got to follow. So then you be like, okay, well, who the fuck are they following? Then you be like, okay, they got to follow. They got to fall under FCC, which is
mm,
controlled by the government, and how
right.
with the USDA, all that stuff is falls under the one ultimate umbrella, the United
Mm,
States government, which is
government.
actually which is a corporate giant itself. So
Well,
let's just say that it's the giant of all giants. If you actually really want to stop and think about it.
well, because they pat and shoulders with the corporates, so
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
now intertwined that where you can bring bargaining chips and pay a lobbyist to get things changed,
Yeah.
money again,
So just
that
like I say again, like just like I say, it's like these people they got all these companies, right? And they bringing in that big money, and then it's just for the simple fact,
I
like,
want one.
yeah, me too. Shit.
I
you
want
know,
one too.
yeah. So I mean, because I just look at it like this, okay? Like if put like this, just think about it for a minute, right? I mean,
Mm,
if say like we come up with a product and it's good, right? And then but then at the same time, though, right? Let's just say for shits and giggles that okay, well, you know what? This is the product that we've been putting out there, but it's good, but it ain't good enough. So then motherfuckers start cutting corners. And so even though you know that this shit is illegal, right? But but as soon as the United States government find out about that shit, then they were like, okay, hey, look, guess what? We see what you're doing. We see what you're doing, right? And so then they gonna want some of it. And then you say, okay, I'll let you have it, but this is who the fuck I want in office.
yeah, you could probably, like I say, it's some bargaining going on. I
Yeah,
mean, for us, brother like us, if we come up with an ideal
yeah,
that we can patent, then probably have to approach a big corporation, in a manufacturer, whatever that is,
yeah.
to have to get that product out there. Like you said
Uh-huh.
earlier, it'd be hard for us. We could probably start from the street with the product, selling door to door, like back in the old day. They used to sell
Yeah.
vacuum cleaners, but right. But the ideal, you definitely got to get your shit patent around here. Because
Yeah.
if
I mean,
you, that's
and then
money
it just for the
because they
simple
want to
fact,
buy the patent,
yeah, and
right?
then what's so bad about it, once you get the idea, then you gotta hurry up and get it patented because who's to say that somebody ain't thinking the same goddamn way that we're
Oh
thinking?
yeah, we on the same wavelengths around
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
So so again,
Instead of
it's just like okay, well, damn, you know what? Somebody else. So it's always a race
it's a
to who
race.
gets there first, right? And then motherfuckers be like, well, damn, they stole my idea. I'm like, okay, well, did you get it in time?
That's
See what
right.
I'm saying?
That's
So
why I tell those young cats, they writing in some music and they posting it is so quick on the internet. They don't
Yeah,
understand without that copyright protection. They think registering with Spotify or some of these other entities is going to protect them. No, in this country, you want to get copyright protection so nobody don't sell. Now, people might sell it, but
yeah,
if you can present the copyright, that government stamp, that seal,
yeah,
you got some protection supposedly from the government. You got a legal document, a paper to present to the courts. Hey, this is my tune,
yeah,
But
yeah,
they think registering it is the same. Yeah,
yeah.
you gotta protect your goods.
Yeah, and it's just like and I like how you did this because, especially when you look at the industry, right? It's only been like a select few that really looked at the industry for what it was, right? And they were just like, okay, yes, I will sign this contract with you. I will do music for you, but guess what? Once I leave, I'm taking my music with me. See, that's what Ray Charles did, right?
Oh my
He took his music with him. And then just think about it, right? Let's just actually really stop and think about it for a minute. When Ray Charles was living, nobody sampled his shit. Nobody. It wasn't until he died. Now, unless you can tell me something different on this, right? It wasn't until when Ray Charles died they started sampling his music.
honestly, I haven't heard a sample of his music on what is it when you say
Kanye
sample.
West, Kanye West, when he did
Okay,
Gold Digger, right?
Gold Digger.
Yeah,
No, I got the Gold Digger.
yeah. Go and listen to that
I mean,
song.
did
That's
he did he now did he sample it or did he
when he
because
took Kanye. He took from the movie. Now it wasn't actually really Ray Charles. I want to say there was Jamie Foxx that actually really
okay.
did Ray Charles's voice, but it's just for the simple fact, right? The way that that song went, it went the exact same way that when Ray Charles did it, it sounds the exact same way.
Oh
So
now
it's
now
so yeah.
now
So
you
it
can cover a person's tune, right?
yeah.
Okay. For instance, Kanye and West can cover one of Ray Charles' tunes where it's
Hmm.
set up. If you do that, that you pay Ray Charles estate if
Yeah.
since he's not alive, what they call mechanical fees.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
every time you sell a CD, then piece of that goes to Ray Charles' estate. So you can
Yeah.
cover a tune, any
Yeah.
artist tune, long
Yeah.
as you pay the mechanical fees, boom, you can do it. So yeah, that's the thing
Yeah.
about covering tunes.
So that's what I'm saying. It's loopholes here, loopholes
Yeah.
there, or whatever. And then then it's it's pretty much like what you said, right? But this goes back to what the hell we was talking about on Saturday,
Mm.
right? It's just like, okay, you can make a law and say, hey, look, murder is against the law. And so now here come all the loopholes. So it's like, okay, well, what if it's in a
Stand your
self-defense?
ground law is one of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, well, what about if it's self-defense? Right? And then again, so now you making the folk go back and look at it like, okay, well, self-defense. So now you gotta be like, okay, we can do it as self-defense. And then somebody can act like, right. So now they'll use that and be like, okay, well, I had to kill him in self-defense. But was it really self-defense?
Yeah, exactly.
See what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So again, so it's always gonna be the loophole after loophole after doggone loophole, right?
well, there you go.
Until somebody actually just come out and say, hey, look, enough of this. Right? But you know, but see, this is what I'm talking about. This is where the corporate giants come in at. They can see it. They can see it. I mean, great the fact they got all the goddamn money in the world, but they still want a piece of your cut. See
Mm,
what I'm saying? I'm
mm.
like, okay, motherfucker, you got money. Hell, let me have some of this.
Yeah, I
Let
guess when
y'all
it
tell
comes
it.
to,
Let y'all tell it everybody can eat, right? Well, hell, let me eat.
I guess what the corporate part is when the workers in the industry, you know, with the union and all that, requesting more money for their labor from the corporates. So that's what the unions came about back in those days, so they
Hmm.
can get that more money to eat. So we still got that today, and you
Yeah,
still got you know, folks, they go up to the big man and say, "Hey, man, we need more money." Yeah, that's still going on. But they, of
yeah,
course, people say they ain't never getting paid enough, especially when those corporations are making billions of dollars a year in
yeah,
profit
yeah.
or
I know,
more.
right? Yeah,
Right. I just looked on there and saw that OJ Simpson had to pay 58 million to
really.
the victim
Oh, to the to
family.
the families.
Yeah, I said this brother got, you know, I didn't realize he had that much money.
Yeah,
58 million. That he,
especially playing during the time period that he played in.
yeah, I mean, he must have had other investments, right? He
Yeah.
must have been a very
Well, you know he was
smooth
doing. Well, you know he was doing
movies.
the he was doing the movies, and
Yeah,
then he was doing
running through the airport.
the Hertz car rental,
That's
right?
right. So he
So
probably,
yeah,
yeah,
he had money. So he
yeah,
had
because he
money.
was juice running through the airport. They
Yeah,
had to pay him. Of course, the airport industry, billions and billions of dollars. You know,
yeah.
these cats got money. So that's why the little people always say, "Hey, man, you can pay more money." We didn't, you
Yeah,
know.
I mean
We,
because I always look at it like this, right? Just like whoever came up with the lovely idea that okay, you can take oil or whatever the hell it is that they do to make gasoline, right? Or it's just for the simple fact that okay, you go out and you start digging, and then oil come up, and then whoever decided that okay, this is profitable, right?
oh
Then
shit,
they
that
start
goes
selling
way
it.
back. That goes
Then they
way
start
back.
selling it. I
That
mean,
goes
but my
way back.
yeah,
Way back.
but yeah, but here's the deal, right? It's
Trading.
just like okay, now I'm pretty sure they already know where all of the oil wells at to this day. But again, it's pretty much like what I said earlier. Okay, say we out there in the backyard or whatever, and then we hit something, and then here come this oil, right? So now you gotta ask like, okay, well, so now you gotta be like, okay, well, whose property is this on? Then you gotta worry about eminent domain, right? Because it's just almost like, okay, well, yeah, it's on our property, but then here come all the motherfucking technicalities and all this kind of shit. And
Well,
then 9 times out of 10, the little man is gonna get fucked over.
well, if you buy a piece of land now, then you have to be careful to check what you're buying. Because
Yeah.
if you don't read the little fine print, find out you can buy the land, but you
Uh-huh.
can own the minerals
Yeah, yeah,
underneath
exactly.
the land.
Yeah. So
That's
again,
some people try to
that's what I'm
sell
saying,
that.
it's just like, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Oh,
it's
that's okay.
pretty much like what we were saying. You have to read the fine print,
Yeah,
right? And
no
so
doubt.
it's like with a lot of people don't read the fine print, right? And so
I've signed some shit I didn't read the frying pan.
yeah, so so after a while, right? You be like, okay, you thinking you get this money, you thinking you get this money, right? And then you wait for the first paycheck to come through, and then it don't come through or whatever, And so now you be like, okay, well, hey, look, what the hell? And then they gonna tell you, did you read the fine print? You know, so
Well,
I
they,
was
now you
like,
got a disgruntled employee you need to watch
exactly,
out for.
exactly. You know, and so that's what I'm saying. This is what, at least this is how I see it. This is
Right.
what the so-called corporate giants will do to you, right? They'll give you just enough to shut you up, right? And then here comes somebody else that'll come along and say, well, if you could have did this, you could have did that, you could have did the other. And then you go back to management like, okay, hey, guess what? You signed a contract.
I
You
mean,
know?
yeah. I mean, they some corporations are capable of some stuff. I mean, if you ever watched the Denzel movie called Pelican in Brief
Yeah,
or
yeah,
the Manchurian Candidate, these movies are
yeah,
always portraying
yeah.
some
Hmm.
crazy shit.
Oh, speaking of which,
Yeah.
speaking of which, did you ever get a chance to watch the movie Clue?
Oh no, sir. Glad you remind me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it right now. I've seen it before. That's funny. I
yeah.
watched that because that movie came out in the 70s, didn't it? 60s or
85. It
70s?
came out in
The
85,
original
1985.
Clue.
Yeah, well,
There you
well, I
go.
don't
Yeah,
know.
there it
I mean,
is.
well, the one that I saw that was based off of the board game. That movie actually really came out in 1985. You know, and
Okay, I'm checking
yeah,
this out. It said
T-
it was
Tim
derived
Curry.
from another movie in 1954
Okay, they might have
from
did.
England.
Yeah,
Right.
because that's where it was based at. Because
Yeah.
I can pretty much tell you who's in that movie. Uh, Tim Curry, Christopher Lloyd, Madeline Kahn, Martin
El-
Mull.
Elaine
Yeah,
Brennan.
yeah. That's the one. That's the one right
Yeah.
there. It's in
Okay.
1985. So that's the one that you got to watch. I mean, because everybody in there actually like really doggone. They didn't go as themselves. They had to go under a particular alias. They could never. They could. They could never give out their actual name, right?
Gotcha.
But at the same time, right? When the movie, put it like this, when everything was all said and done, and once the movie was over with, everybody that, for the most part, that had a position of power or they was married to somebody that had a position of power, they were the main ones that was killing all the folk, killing all the common folk.
Hold up now. You can't you spoiling it now. I
Oh,
got
okay,
to
I'm
rewatch
sorry,
it.
I'm sorry. But then again, but for like this, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do it for you. But even then, as many times as I have seen that movie, all right, it's just like, okay, it's almost like, okay, I know what's coming next, right? But if I blink, it's like, okay, now the
You
whole story.
rewinding?
Yeah, I got to rewind it because I was like, because because it's almost like, okay, every time I watch that movie, I always come up with another end result. So, because I'm
Right.
just like, okay, so then I'm like, okay, well, how come he didn't do shit, or how come she didn't do shit?
Right,
So
right.
it's one of those movies.
You trying to rewrite.
Yeah, so I was like, then after a while, I was just like, you know what? Let me just watch this motherfucker, right?
Right.
Because I'm not gonna smoke my brain off of like, okay, well, no, he didn't kill her, she did. I ain't got time for all that, So you know, so
Yeah.
it's just it's so
I
it's
watch movies
but
like
like I
that
said,
too.
I hope honestly. Yeah, I told you, but still go watch it anyway because it's just like say for me, it's the like say it's based off of the board game, and it's a damn, it's damn good movie. Because
I'm gonna check
motherfuckers,
it. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna download it. When we
yeah,
get through talking, I'm gonna go ahead and download it and set it up.
yeah.
Run to the
So
store and set it up for.
yeah, I mean because just like I say, I mean because 9 times out of 10, I probably gonna watch it. I'm probably gonna watch it too because, and then I get I got my wife to watch it right, and then she was like, "Why you always want to watch this movie?" I'm just like because for one, it's one of the movies that for the most part you really got to pay attention to, right? And then
Right.
and so then when I got it where that she was watching it, right? And then she was, wait a minute. Now she got me rewinding it back to a certain scene, right? And then was and then like right to this day, right? You know, she'll pick a movie out on Netflix or whatever, and then she could be like, "Well, baby, come watch this movie with me," right? And then
Yeah. That's
so I'll watch the movie and I'm like this, and then 10 minutes into the movie, I always say, "Okay, all right, I know who did it, and I know and I know why," right? And she's like, "How you coming that damn fast?" I'm just like, "Hell, they telling you right, shit, they telling you right off, right?" So, so I'm just like, so it was just one movie we was watching. I forget what it was, and oh, matter of fact, no, I take it back. When uh, I was still in Texas, I was still in Texas, and my son, because it was my birthday
right.
weekend. I'll never forget it, right? And then my son, he came and got me, right? In which I really didn't know he was gonna come get me, right? So I had been drinking that whole damn day, right? And then he came and got me. So then I got hungry, right? And then he took me to this one burger joint, and I'm telling you, it was like I ate like a ball of grease, right? But it was good, right? At the time you really ain't thinking about that shit. And so we go back to his house, and so we drinking whatever. And all I remember, because we taking shot for shot, and so I just remember him saying, "That's all you got," and then anything I've done, I black the fuck out. But so so and then let them telling I threw up everywhere, and which I probably did, but that because I had that because I ate a big ass ball of grease, but so anyway, right? We went to go see the movie Us, right?
Oh, that's a trip. That's a
Yeah, and
tone
so
trip.
so then I mean, now great the fact I'm sitting up here, I'm watching it, but then I'm kind of paranoid, because I knew I didn't got all the shit out of it, but my stomach still wasn't like how it should be. So I like I saw 10 minutes of the movie, maybe 15. And I was like,
Right.
okay. I'm just like, okay. I'm like, all right, okay. I'm good. I'm ready to go. I already know what the fuck they're talking about in the movie, right? I mean, because if you actually really look at the actual family, right, and then you look at them, right, they wasn't nothing but shadows of the actual family. Because
So you haven't seen the movie fully?
yeah, I saw the movie. I saw the movie. I saw it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But basically, what I was telling my son and my wife at the time, I'm like, look, I already know. I told her, I said, look, I already know what's going on because you look at the actual family and then you look at them because they was in all red. I was like, they are the shadows of this actual family because the woman, she actually really came out and said it, right?
Well, you didn't spoil the movie for the watchers, did you?
No, well, no, because my thing was, I spoiled it for him because for one, I didn't feel good. My stomach was still turning flippy.
Got you.
So I was just like, look, I'm just trying to get out this motherfucker now. Right? So they were just like, will you shut the fuck up? I mean,
Yeah.
because in the sense, right, I was, my voice was carrying. And
Yeah.
then I
Hell
was
yeah.
kind of like, because not only was I spoiling for my family, but I was like, okay, motherfucker, you do realize other people hear you.
That's right. I'm like,
So,
I've been like, hey, get your ass out of
so you know what I'm
here.
saying? So for
What
the
the
most part,
hell?
yeah. So for the most part, right? So for the most part, right, I'm just like, okay, I'll shut up. But it's just for the fact, like,
Yeah.
I'm still recovering from the night previous, but I
Got you.
already knew what the hell was going on. So I'm just like, okay. So they, because the family, the family was telling me to shut the fuck up, and then there was some other folks was telling me, "Well, you shut the fuck up." And
Yeah.
so I was like, and then any other time I'll be like, "Well, fuck you, motherfucker," but I'm just like, but I couldn't. I wasn't at my best.
I got you.
So I'm
You
just like,
couldn't
all
just go
right.
to the bathroom and take a shit.
I mean, but see, here was the deal. I did all of that. I
Yeah.
did all that, but
Okay.
it was just for the simple fact, right, that I had drank so much, right,
Yeah.
I think at the time, right,
Right.
I
Then.
was dehydrated, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I was too paranoid to actually really drink anything,
Got
right?
you.
As far as like Gatorade and anything like that, because I just felt like, okay, if I would have drank anything, I just felt like, okay, I'm finna bring this shit back up, and I didn't want to actually really do it there
I
in the
got you.
movie theater. So
I
I
got
was just
you.
like, okay, well,
Shit.
let me just go ahead. I just said, okay. So my way of thinking, I was like, look, let me just go ahead and just tell you what the fuck gonna happen.
No, you
so,
didn't.
so,
Oh
so,
man, no, you didn't do that. Did
so I did. So I was just like, let me just go ahead and tell you what the fuck is gonna happen.
you? No
Right?
man.
And so it was just like, but then everybody like, no, motherfucker, I done paid my money.
Mhm.
Right? So I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
So, but then as the movie progressed, right?
Right.
And it ended up like how I knew it would. I said, see there, I told y'all, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. You can't. We
even
can't
the
watch
people,
no movies. I see that together because you're gonna be
so even
talking
so
like.
even the people that was like behind us, right? So now they mad. I'm just like,
Yeah.
look, I'm trying to tell you, right?
No, it's that. Oh
Matter of
yeah.
fact, I told them, I said, matter of fact, I told them, why y'all listening? I'm talking to my family. So, so
You in the theater. That's like you hollering fire in the crowded theater.
yeah, yeah. And so
They gonna be
it was
talking
just
about
like,
you right now.
yeah. And so now, I mean, now, like, if it's something, now I was 45 when that happened, right?
Okay.
So,
Was
but
was that?
now
Was
I can
that
be like, I
8
can be
years
like,
ago? How long
yeah,
ago?
I was 45, so I'm 52
Oh,
right now.
gotcha.
So, but nowadays I can look at the movie and I can be like, I watched like about 5, 10 minutes of it, blah 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 blah, whatever, and then I was like, okay, and so in my mind, right, I don't say shit no more. I don't say shit no more, right? And I just keep it to myself, and then after that, I'm looking for the next scene to play out like how I'm thinking that it's gonna play out. But then
Right.
sometimes that shit will throw me off,
Gotcha.
right? And then I'm just like, oh shit, I thought they was gonna go here, but they went there. And so for the most part, I'm just like, so now it's almost like if I'm watching a football game or whatever, and then my wife, she looking at me and she see me do some shit like this, right? you know, And so I'm mad because and this is like, what's wrong with you? I was like, okay, I thought they was going here, but they went there. Right? And then she'll tell me, baby, quit trying to figure out the damn movie and just watch the fucking movie.
Yeah, yeah,
And
you
so
in there.
for me, right? I'm like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that.
You okay.
And so
Yeah, you immersed. You immersed in everything.
yeah, I mean, because I mean, and then sometimes to actually like really try to predict what the fuck is gonna happen in a movie,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's one
Same.
thing, right? But then when you actually really try to do that shit in an actual situation, right?
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
ain't.
you better be like 100% positive that okay, if you say this, I said you got to be like, okay, I sincerely hope that the information that you got is actually really accurate, right? And then we can go ahead and we can pass this shit off to everybody else. So it's just like, so now, so I, so at this point in the juncture, people come over to the house or whatever, and they can talk about something, and then the wife will look at me like, "Babe, what you think?" I was like, "No, I was like, no comment, right? Because I was like, I was like, look, I want to let y'all figure that shit out. I want to let y'all figure that shit out, because I don't want to be like, well, and then, because I don't want to say nothing, and then everybody is hanging on my every word. I don't want that, And so, but like when I was 45, right? I'm just like, okay, I got it, whatever. And then for the most part, whether it was a movie or whether it was something that was actually really going on, I was actually like, okay, I can give you at best 8 out of 10, which is still pretty good, right? But and then they was like, okay, well, and then motherfuckers be like, okay, well, you was half right. I'm like, okay, at least I'm in the goddamn circle, So I'm just like, so after that, I was like, you know what? We go watch it. We'll go to a movie. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll do the other, right? And
Right.
then, I'll be like, okay, you know what? I ain't gonna say something else. Motherfucker be like, they be like, well, what you think about it? I'm like, no, nothing.
Well, you got
Y'all
to
not gonna get
save
me
that
on this one.
energy. You got to save that energy to
Yeah,
do a
exactly,
what they call a
exactly.
what's when they get together and do the
Yeah,
movie thing. You went to go see it without spoiling it. You talk about
yeah.
it later.
So that was
We need to,
saying,
yeah, we need to do one
I
of
mean,
those.
but the thing about it though, for me, right? Okay, say I go watch a movie, whether I go to the movie theater or I watch the shit on Netflix or whatever, and then I could be like, I could never talk about a movie, right? Because I'm gonna give it away, right? But then, and because, and then that's why a lot of these folk right now, right? They were like, okay, look, I'm gonna give spoiler alerts. So if you haven't watched the movie, turn off right now because I'm
Yeah.
gonna spill it for you.
Well, yeah,
I'm
you
gonna, I'm
can
gonna, I'm
do
gonna
a
ruin it.
critique. You can critique it without
Yeah,
telling. You can talk about the actors and their performance. You can talk
yeah,
about the screenwriter and how the screenplay,
yeah,
how the
yeah, yeah,
dialogue going. Then you can talk about the camera shots. You can talk about the director. You can talk
yeah,
about all that in a movie and actually not tell. You can
yeah.
say
I mean, but but now, like I
you.
said, like sometimes I can do it. Well, honestly, I can do it all the time. But sometimes I can be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna tell y'all. So, but then again, what I do right, I say some shit like this. I can be like, okay, so and so did it, but don't take my word for it. Go watch the movie.
There you go.
And so so I actually like really didn't. I just, so that's, that's what I do now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, like, I mean, yeah, I might tell you. I mean, but I'm just like, okay, well, hey, look, don't take my word for it. Go watch the movie because my thing is this: I can only tell you how I see it. You might see it differently,
Mhm.
right?
True.
Now, it's just for the simple fact. Now, if me and you see it the same different way, then okay, all right, motherfucker, you just spoiled the movie for me. But guess what? You still went to go see it, so they got your money. So I mean, like,
Yeah,
so
but you got to see for yourself. You
yeah.
need
So
to
that's
see
what I'm
the
saying.
evidence.
So for
Yeah.
me, right,
But
that's always been like my when I do tell it, that's always been like my get out of jail free card,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, well, go see it for yourself.
Well,
Don't listen to
yeah.
what I'm trying to tell you,
Yeah. I
right?
mean, you watching movies, you're gonna get into the scene. You there. And
Yeah,
so people
yeah.
like that, they tend to talk why it's
Uh-huh.
going
Yeah,
on, because you doing some directing and what you done seen a lot of movies, so you
yeah.
kind of know what the click's gonna be. And
Uh-huh.
a lot of folks said, like, man, you be here with us watching
Yeah, no, I'm
movies.
saying that, and
You
so it's
got-
like, right to this day,
yeah,
right? Um, right now, I can't tell you the last movie that me and Nisi went to go see. I mean, because I think because we were, like when I first got back here, like that first year and a half, whatever, we would go to the movie.
right.
We go to the movie, right? And then when the no, I was still in Texas when that hit. But like when I got back here, we go to the movie or what have you, and then I'll be like, okay, look, okay, I didn't count it. I didn't count it already. I already know what the fuck gonna happen.
We
And
can't
then
do
she looked at me like, "Will you shut the fuck up?" And so I'm
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
You have to bite your
so
tongue.
I was like, "But baby, I already know what the hell gonna happen."
You
And
can't.
then she was like,
Oh,
I was like, "Well, God damn it, don't tell me."
yeah.
Right?
You act like you
So
don't won the lottery and stuff.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
gotta ask you this,
Yes, sir.
right? And this is what I'm about to say right now. This is a prime example of how fucked up people are. And again, you probably could put this as far as like the whole shit that we was talking about earlier, like the corporate giants. Oh
Right.
well. So it was this DoorDash female, right?
Mhm.
She got arrested because the guy he did an order, right? So, and he left this woman specific instruction, leave it out on the front door, right?
Right.
How about this bitch open up the door, right? This motherfucker, he passed out on the couch, but his dick is out.
Wait a minute.
I
This is gonna
bullshit
be
you
a
not.
joke, like a comedian joke.
No, no, this is like no, no, because she actually really got arrested. Put it like this: go on Google, type up dash door girl, and see what the fuck come up,
Yeah.
right? Because they actually really got her on two felony accounts.
Entering, breaking in, or entering with she entering, breaking in, entering.
No, because what I've been hearing, right? The door was unlocked.
It's a closed door.
It was a closed door, so she get the guy his. She come up there with the order, and what happened is like the guy said, "Hey, look, just leave it at the front door." I
Did he
did.
leave a tip for at the front door too? He didn't, did
No,
he?
I mean it's just like okay, she dropped it off. Now it's conflicting reports.
Right.
A lot of people saying the door was already open.
Right. Like a screen door with the other
Yeah.
door open.
So like, so when she showed up, right? So some people said that the door was closed. Some people said that the door was open.
Right.
So, but what happened when she pulled up, right? Okay, this motherfucker, he passed out on the couch
Yeah.
and his dick is out, but he passed out on the couch. So she recorded it. She recorded it, right?
Oh.
Right? Listen, she done recorded this man naked and he got his shit out, right? But he passed out though, right? So she done recorded it,
Oh.
posted it up on her TikTok.
Woo. She fucked up raw.
Exactly, right?
What they gonna
So
she she gonna be working for him forever.
yeah, so so
God.
so so so
Why
then
would
so
you
so what happens?
even do
So what
that?
happens? So listen. So what happens is this:
Uh-huh.
she recorded. Now she gonna go to the police, talking about he sexually harassed her, but he passed out on the couch.
Right.
You know, so
Oh
I'm just like,
shit.
so yeah. So
See,
they actually like, so right now the two felony charges that they got her on breaking and entering, right? And
mm,
then you record a person without their consent.
that consent. Then you posted it.
Yeah, yeah. She posted it on a TikTok page.
What's wrong with these youth? What would you? You think everything? She a prankster. I mean, woo wee. Why would you even do that?
Exactly.
Why would you
I'm just
even?
like,
You
I'm just like, okay, so okay, and so I'm just like, and so which when I saw it, then it actually really brought me back to an incident in my army days. I'm stationed at Fort Bliss, right?
right?
I'm on CQ. So at 10 o'clock, right? Whoever that you got in your room, they got to get out of there.
Right.
And then, not to say that you ain't got to go to sleep at 10 o'clock, which you already know what the fuck is going to happen at 6:30
All
the
right.
next morning, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, right? So I'm doing my security checks. I'm checking all the floors. So I get up to the third floor, right? And so I'm checking doors, making sure everybody doors, locked or whatever. And so it was a couple of doors that was like unlocked. So I opened up the door, I said, hey, look, $2,200, come lock your door.
Right.
Right. And so I go to this one room, Big Brown, his door unlocked. So I was like, hey man, you really ain't paying attention what the fuck going on in there. So I was like, hey, look, come lock your door. Right.
Yeah.
And then and so I'm walking slowly off because I'm trying to hear for the click the sound. Yeah, I'm trying to hear,
Yeah.
okay, all right, he heard me. So, all right, I ain't going back downstairs or whatever. But this motherfucker never actually really got up, right? So I was like, okay. So I go back, open the door again. Hey, man, come lock your door. But then I'm looking in the room, right? And so I'm just like, because the way that he had his bed set up, his bed was going this way, right? And so, and then I'm looking at what's up with the fucking light? You know, I'm like, how does motherfucker sleep with this light in his face, right? So I walk up on it, right? Big bro, what the fuck I saw, right? I was like, no, this motherfucker, no, this motherfucker did not pass out doing this. So this motherfucker, right? He butt ass naked in the bed. If the Jack Daniel bottle, right? This motherfucker on a porn site, this
Yeah.
motherfucker then jacked himself to sleep. Okay.
Yeah. He
so,
sleep like a mother.
so I was like, okay, so I was like, all right, he done for, he gone, right?
Yeah.
So I go back downstairs, right?
Look out for
And,
him.
and so and so my runner, he looking at me like, I just had that old fuck up ass look on your face, on your face.
Like, did I
And so
just see
so he
this?
looking at me like, what's wrong? So I just said 309. Just go up there, right? He like,
Oh,
so he was like, and
why would
so
it send
now,
them to look to?
so at this particular point, so now
Yeah.
I'm wrong. I'm wrong right now. So
Yeah.
but I just told him like, look, just go.
You was in shock.
Yeah, I was. I just said 309. I said 309,
You
right?
was in
And so he was
shock.
just like, she said like, well, what's up with 309? I'm like, you'll see, right? So he come back, so he go up there, he see the same shit, and he come back with the same fucked up face that I saw, right? So now, right? So now, right?
Hey,
So we sit
what
up here
what
now, right?
Frederick Entertainer say in a movie at barbershop? Click clock, lock your door and do handle your
Yeah.
business.
So anyway, right? So anyway, right? So we both back at the desk, and we got like the most fucked up ass look on our face because see now
You can't get it out your mind.
so now I'm like, okay, I'm looking at this motherfucker, right? And so I'm just like, so now I'm trying to figure out, okay, how I'm gonna log this shit in, right?
Door
So
unlock, I can't lock it.
I'm like, so after a while, right? And so my brother like, you ain't gonna log it in. I'm like, how the fuck I'm gonna log that shit in? Right? So I ended up I cleaned it up the best way that I could. Right? So like when people start coming in for PT formation, right? So top come
Well,
in.
hold up. Let me stop you.
Okay.
Now, do you have to log? You only logging in that the door was unlocked.
Yeah, I did it. I mean, but then, now I can actually really say door, room 309
Yeah,
unsecured.
yeah.
Right? But then they go like, okay, well, why was it unsecured? Right? I couldn't just say like it was unsecured, right? I mean, now I can sit up here and say, okay, well, hey, look, I did this, and this, and this.
Hold on. Another question. Was this basic training,
No,
CQ,
this was no, this
tech
was
school?
no, this was I'm a E5 at the time, so
Wow,
this is
y'all
my
still do that at that
yeah. So
time
so
too?
so so,
God,
so anyway, right? So anyway, right?
man.
I cleaned that shit up the best way that I could,
I
right?
was in the Air Force, y'all.
Yeah.
We ain't did no shit like that. We ain't do no CQ
But
after that point.
so here's the deal, right? So when first I come in, first I came in like around about 5:30, right? And so I'm looking at top, I'm just like, so he was like, well, how did I go? Well, how did I go? So I'm like, hey, look, I just kind of like give him that look, right? And so he looked at me like, okay. So he was like, okay, Sir Harris, what the fuck happened? Right? And so I was like, who is in room 309? Right? And
Turn
so
into
so he told me.
this shit
So
the
he told me,
window.
right? Right? And
Yeah.
so I'm like, well, what happened? I'm like, look,
Yeah.
you
Always.
either tell. I'm like, look, big bro, I'm telling you, this is exactly
Where's
what
the
I told
guy
him. Right?
still sleep?
Yeah, he was still asleep when Top went
Because he
up
got
there.
the Jack Daniel bottles in his
So
hand.
I was like, I
Hold on,
just
hold
told him,
on,
right?
hold up, hold up, hold up.
Uh,
You know, I don't know if this test run, but is this going to the world?
look, I already said this shit earlier. So
Is
my whole deal is
this not
my
going to the world, is it?
I mean, we can do this and then I can like I can like go ahead and chop this shit up.
Yeah,
But
okay, okay.
look, I was like, okay, because I asked Top, I'm saying, who in room 309? Right? And so he told me, I'm like, okay, well, and so he just he saw the expression on my face, right? And so he was like, okay, what did he do? I'm like, go on up there. Well, actually, I didn't tell him that. I said, look, whoever his platoon sergeant is, or whoever his section chief is. I said, look, y'all need to get that boy out, right? Go get him some pussy. I mean, and that's all what I said, right? And so
What
this
was he
motherfucker, he
drinking?
still
Hold up. What was he drinking again?
he was Jack Daniel.
Wait, okay, white boy.
Yeah, white boy.
Okay, we some Jack Daniel. He from Kentucky, Tennessee.
Every 9,010, right? So no, but the thing about it though, big bro, is this. I was like, okay, this motherfucker, look, he done got out of all his damn clothes. You hear me?
I mean, it's his room.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it, right?
yeah.
It's your room, but goddamn, dog, lock the door, right? So everyone was
Clock,
like,
lock the door.
right? And so he was just like, so now first on, he like, okay, what did he do? I'm just like,
Yeah, go see for
go see,
yourself.
right? And then I heard first on, he up on the third floor, right? Top go up there. He like, what the hell? It's like so like he heard like he said it so loud, right? So yeah, this motherfucker, he done woke up, then forgot what the fuck he doing
He
or what
drinking
he
Jack
did, right?
Daniel, man. He looking at it like
Yeah, exactly. And so
Oh, I
now,
feel good
so
now.
he look, top tearing him a brand new one,
Oh man,
right?
he letting everybody.
So Top then came back down, right?
Oh
Top then came back down. Now he looking at me crazy, right? I was like, hey, look, Top, I tried to wake his ass up. I'm like, look,
I ain't
I'm
going
not,
over there near him.
I was like, look, I told him, I said, look, I'm not trying to touch no naked man. I mean, that ain't what the fuck I do.
That's
Right? So
right. Ain't no doubt.
I
You
was
throw
like,
something at
oh
him.
no, don't do that. I
I
mean,
throw some
and
water on
then
his head.
what's so bad about it, right? What's so bad about it, right? I was yelling at this dude,
He
right?
was,
I'm
yeah, he
like, hey,
dead
what?
sleeper.
Wake the fuck up. I mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he must have been to now that I can really stop and think about it for a minute, right? He must have had just when like you pass out, right? And then you get into that where that no matter what the fuck you do to a person, right?
Oh yeah.
They can't really come out of it,
Oh no, yeah. Pass
right?
out artists.
And,
They
and so
passed out
so
artists.
so
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
and just like what I told Top, I'm like, look, I'm not trying to touch this motherfucker. I'm not trying to put no clothes on this motherfucker. I'm not trying to do none of that shit.
So under this CQ you doing
Yeah, yeah,
now you said this was at E5. You was at
yeah,
E5, so y'all still doing this duty. I
yeah.
mean, when y'all doing this, is this for the barracks? You
Yeah,
be
the barracks. It's the barracks. It's the barracks.
okay, so this is a
Yeah.
squadron. So you what? It
Yeah.
was like one or two barracks.
Yeah. So they're like saying,
So it's
put
like
like
three or
this.
four CQs going on at the
Yeah.
same
So
time each
basically,
barrack.
put like this. I had control of one barracks building, and then you had the other NCO. They was in charge of that barracks building, and
Gotcha.
then what we have is what staff duty, where that they come and check you, and then they go and they check, right? They check every goddamn thing,
Huh.
right?
We had
So
CQ.
it was just like, okay. So at the time, right, I knew the guy that was on staff duty,
Right.
right? So me and him, we cool. So I was like, he like, so I heard you good. I'm like, hey, look, everything locked up tight, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, had I told him to go up to 309, right? Yeah, he'd have came down looking the same goddamn way. So, it's just like uh back then, it's just like I used to hate being on CQ, right? Because especially on the weekend, you don't know what the fuck is going on up there. You don't know what the fuck is going on up there in them goddamn barracks, right? And so it would be like a lot of times, a lot of the soldiers, they knew me, right? I'm just like, hey, look, because I would tell them. Hey, guess what? I'm on CQ tonight. Don't y'all be up there in your goddamn room doing something you ain't got no fucking
Well, I
business doing.
mean, at this, these guys don't have no privacy. I
They
mean,
don't. All what they had to do was just lock the damn door,
that's
right?
it.
I mean, because basically,
Oh,
no, because basically, all what the fuck we gonna do? We gonna do like this,
right.
and if we
Security
can't do
purposes.
this, we gonna leave you alone. But the first time we can open the damn door, okay, yeah.
Right, right,
Hey, look, come lock your shit, right? And then we
right.
go.
Yeah,
So, but he didn't do that.
he
So
didn't
I'm just
do
like,
that.
okay, well, damn, I gotta. So now I gotta be like, okay, look, I need to see if this motherfucker good.
A day, make sure he ain't dead.
Yeah, exactly, right. So
Wow.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
so when
makes sense.
I just look at it like this, it's like no bullshit, bro. That motherfucker, the Jack Daniel bar was right there. He had his hand like this. He you know, because he got the laptop like this, and his dick in his hand. He out of there, right? So I'm just like, oh my God. I'm just like, okay, all right. And then he was old young soldier. He probably wasn't even 20 years old, right? So I'm just like, probably depending on where the fuck he was from, right? He probably didn't really know a whole lot, and then I mean, when you come in the army, depending on where you come from, right? I mean, you see shit that you really ain't used to seeing, and so you like, damn, okay, all the fuck, all this is going on,
Right.
right? And then his intent may have been good. His intent might have been good. He probably thought that he could hold his liquor long enough where that he could do what the fuck he needed to do. Go ahead, clean himself up, lock the door, and then
Well, that's the first
then
thing you
everything
do
would have
when you
been
get
good.
ready to do your activities is lock the
Yeah,
door.
I mean, but then
He full before he got
and
there.
so like it was like a couple of days later, right? I saw the young guy, and I was like, young man, I
Oh,
was like,
you finna rub it in on him?
no, I was like, I just, as an NCO, right?
Uh,
You try to like actually really try to comfort the soldier the best way you can know how, right?
well, how many people? The whole battalion didn't
No,
find out.
because the thing about it though is this: when something like that actually really happens, right? I mean, now, great the fact, okay, we already know that, right? But you don't
Yeah.
like spread that shit all over motherfucking retirement, right? So I just grabbed the soldier. I just said, look, I know you young, right? But next
Hold on.
time,
Now, when Top came in, did he
yeah.
slap the boy and wake him up out of it?
Yeah, no, he did. No,
Uh,
because Top, he wasn't the one. This motherfucker like he like what 6'2", 6'3", whatever. So when he yelled, right,
yeah.
and because I heard him, I'm down on the
He done
bottom
woke
floor,
everybody up on all
right. So
three floors.
whoever that was asleep, right, there's no Top woke up everybody on the third floor, right. so so I'm just
What
like
floor you on at the time?
I'm down at the bottom floor.
And so second floor done heard him too.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody, the second floor, everybody, they just
Unless
like,
they was all in comatose.
so it's just like, okay, everybody like, what the fuck, and so so everybody come out right, and so what happens is like, okay, well, fuck, Top on the rampage, right? He want to come in early than everybody else, right? And so like back then, that's what first sergeants did. They would always come in before everybody else,
Right.
right? And then the NCOs they would come in, and so but
Oh no.
by that time it's already like,
More people
by,
than came in.
yeah. So by that time, right? You know, Top did already didn't handle that situation, right?
Okay.
And so, but when he yelling, right?
Yeah,
You
he
done woke
done.
up. Listen,
He in
he done woke up.
shock.
Look, he done woke up everybody on the third floor,
he in
right?
shock.
So, so,
Wow!
so like Top chewing this guy out, right? But here come all the other soldiers, and then when
I
you're a
wouldn't have
first
done
sergeant,
that. I wouldn't have
listen,
done that. I
listen. When
wouldn't
you're a first sergeant, right? You come out the room, and then everybody looking at you like, "Hey, look, y'all motherfuckers get ready for goddamn formation, right?" And so,
because of this guy.
yeah, and so I mean, now, get the fact, Top didn't put this. He didn't put his business out. He didn't.
Right.
He didn't put the young
Yeah.
soldier's business out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because the first time that everybody else hear that shit, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that soldier finna catch it.
You
You
better
know.
catch
So,
it.
so they were like, so because you just imagine like, damn dog, you in there
Yeah, man.
jacking.
We
It's
go.
like, damn dog, you in there jacking your dick, like seriously.
Well, y'all, I'd have said y'all jacking y'all's too.
Yeah.
Shit. I
So
just fell asleep doing mine.
yeah. So for the
I
most,
had to play it off.
part, right? And and I told my runner,
Yeah.
I said, look, don't you say shit. Do not say shit. And
Leave it
I
alone.
can tell I said, I'm giving you a direct order right now. You put this shit out. If I hear about it, I know that you did it. Right? And
Yeah.
so he was like, okay, so Harris, I got it. Right? And so, so for the most part, right, motherfuckers be like, well, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? And so I was like, look, it ain't none of your damn business. What the fuck happened? Right?
Everybody gonna use their imagination now. What could he
Yeah.
have
So now motherfuckers is like, motherfuckers that actually really knew it, right? So now they're like, okay, 9 times 10, he did something that he didn't have his business doing, but they never actually really knew what that soldier did. And
Right.
so for the most part, that soldier, for the most part, he kept his integrity, blah 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 blah, and all that kind of shit, right?
Well, shit, it's
I,
probably like I say, he didn't. Yeah, but
yeah, but I mean, but the thing about it though, big bro, like
yeah.
I used to, like I said, I used to hate.
I can't believe they do that at that time.
But hey,
Was
look,
you an overseas base or on the
no,
state
this is
base?
Fort Bliss. This is Fort
And
Bliss.
they doing that?
So I'm just like, no, you could have carried your ass to the strip club or something.
I mean, why they checking locks in your own private
No, but the thing
facility?
about it, no, but see the thing about though is this: the rule was right, 10 o'clock, your door needs to be locked. Right? That's just how it was back then. Right? And so he didn't have his door locked. And so it just
I
it, so
understand the principle, but
so for
behind
the
the
most part,
security
right? So for the
thing,
most part,
but
because a lot of these soldiers, and then he was one of them, right?
well, they want
You have a lot of expensive shit in your room. And so for the most part, right, if you get caught slipping, then your shit come up missing.
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, I
And
understand
so
the
and then and
training
so it basically
purposes. I know these
so
guys ain't got no
basically,
weapons in there. They ain't
yeah.
got
So
no.
basically
They
what we did,
yeah.
right, we had what we called a high value dollar sheet, right? And then so like okay, you got a TV, how much did it cost? Right? And then we get we put the type of TV, how big it was, how much it cost, and we put the serial number on
Oh
it.
yeah, because y'all army mugs in there doing stealing. Y'all
Yeah.
stealing in it with an
Yeah.
army.
And so like say so like if you so again, if you had like some expensive shit in your room, right? Then you put it down on that motherfucking high dollar value sheet. So just in case if somebody snatched your shit,
Got some
you
renters
got
insurance.
yeah, that was the insurance policy. And then uh I tell you another incident because the soldiers, right, for the most part, besides that incident that happened, right, we had some damn good soldiers, right? We really did. So I'll never forget it, right? First I want to come through the room. He want to come through the barracks, right? He want to inspect everybody's room, right? So big bro, listen, what I tell you what the fuck happened. I should have put this shit in my book, but I just said, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. But so the soldiers, right, in a sense, they got tired of first sergeant coming through their room because their room was already square,
Yeah.
right? So one of the soldiers went and got a blow up doll and put it on the bed.
That's
So
cool.
Tom like, what the fuck is this? And so then the soldier, he like with the deer in the headlights, he like, what are you talking about? Right? He like that. What is that? You like,
That's what.
oh, her? Oh, that's my bitch.
What could he
So
do?
so he was like, yo, bitch. I'm like, yeah, she do everything I told her to say, right? And then if she don't do it, I slap it. So he picked the
I
damn
deflate
doll up.
her ass.
He picked the doll up and slapped the shit out of the damn
I would
right?
have walked out the building. So
I
that
was
was a
like,
good one,
oh,
told
what
you.
about you then? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I said,
I'm just like, no, this motherfucker didn't do this,
I'd have,
right? And
if I'd have been,
so he went like a couple doors down, right? And then one of the motherfuckers had a dick pump in plain in plain view, right? And so like, you know, he white soldier, right?
they
So so
pranksters.
so Top looking at me like, the fuck is this? And so the soldier like, no bullshit, right?
Yeah.
He said, well, first sergeant, you know what they say about white guys? It's true. That's why I have this. So I'm like,
That's got to be.
so, so I'm just, and so again,
You didn't put that in the book.
no, because this is like
That's some funny
inspection
shit.
time. This is what the first sergeant do. He didn't go through every room, right? But after those two rooms, he
He
like, you know
didn't get
what?
it.
I'm done.
He didn't
I'm
get it.
done.
Okay, he said, "I'm done." You
I'm
right.
done. And
Y'all
then
finna
from
fuck
that,
with me
listen,
all
and then
day.
and look, big bro,
Yeah.
from that point on, first sergeant never came up and inspected rooms
Eh,
because it's just from the fact that you really didn't know, right? But then I go to Germany, right? And then I had old knucklehead soldier.
You still drink?
He gonna bring his girl in, right? And, and so he come to me, right? He come knocking on my door, 5 o'clock in the morning, right? I'm like, who the fuck is knocking on my damn door? So it's my he wasn't my soldier directly,
Right.
but he really trusted me, right? So I'm just like, okay, what you got? I got a girl in my room. I'm like, you got what? Knowing that Top finna come up here, right? And so I'm just like, well, get that bitch. So by that time, right, you know how the barracks was set in Germany,
Now,
right?
are there two adjoining rooms that same the same
Yeah,
bathroom?
I mean, but at the same time, though, like, you know, Top come in, he look at your room, then he look at the bathroom, right?
Okay.
So like you share the bathroom.
But you had a door on each
Yeah,
separate,
you had the door on each side, right?
so he could have
So
saved the
so
girls swapped across the other room.
but no, but
They went into
his
them.
deal, right?
Yeah.
Just like say, okay, look, say, okay, this my room, this the bathroom, and then there's the other soldier's room, right? So even if you hid her in the bathroom, first time I'm still gonna see her.
No. I'm just saying he only expecting each room in a row, right?
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, he didn't, right? He'll skip a room. And so
Ah,
I'm just like, so I just told
still,
her, I said,
you can still, yeah.
so at the time, right, I'm just like, you better pray that he skipped y'all room,
Mhm.
right? Because he's like, well, I got in the shower. I'm just like, really, motherfucker? Right? So
He
I'm just
wasn't no
like,
help. He wasn't no
so
help.
I just told him, I said, look, don't you put me in this shit because you know better, right? And so, sure as shit, Top go to his room, right? So his side was straight, top going to the bathroom, right? And the shower
No,
curtain was
he's
closed.
in his room going to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah. So
So the Gary
so
ain't in
he
the
pulled
room now.
so he pulled the shower curtain back.
Oh,
And then
she didn't.
so there was another one. There was another loud ass first on, right? So I'm on the other end of the barracks, right? All I hear is, what the fuck? Right? And
Like it.
so she's standing up there, she got her clothes on, but she in the fucking shower, right?
So she couldn't cross over to the other room.
No, I
They
mean
ain't
because
homies.
it was, it's just for the simple fact, right? Because he panicked and then the other guy panicked. So they were just like, well,
Too
shit,
scared. Yeah.
hide in the shower, right?
I've
Because
been
he
bouncing
didn't,
that girl around. Man,
yeah,
go girl,
because,
get down there.
yeah, I mean, because,
Yeah, I was.
because the
Uh-huh.
other guy didn't think they'd be like, hey, look, go hide up under the bed. Understand? Because that's what he did. He would only check like one room. He would
Right.
check one room, then he checked the shower, and then if everything was good, then
Yeah.
he didn't worry about the other soldiers' room. But they panicking, right? And then he didn't hurry up and told me, and I'm like, look, motherfucker, what you want me to do about it, right? So I'm just like, look, y'all just try to hide her the best way you can know how, right? And so these motherfuckers, they hit her. He hit her in the shower,
Not the sour hand.
right? And so I'm just like,
Where he gonna check?
so he told that soldier brand new asshole. You hear me? And then here come the soldier coming to me, right? I'm just like, dog, you didn't have enough sense to rotate that motherfucker out of the shower,
To to your homies,
right?
then y'all, hey homie, open up the door.
Yeah,
But
that was saying.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was saying because the other
Well,
guy,
why?
because the
Hold
other
up.
guy,
She was stayed all night, should have been gone, and he took her
yeah,
home.
she should have been gone. Like that.
Oh, he gone.
She should have been out of there at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But she stayed, and then again he
He done
probably
got the
like
punani. Now he
and
sleep. And she
yeah,
talking
and
about, you
then
need to take me home, and he won't get out of
it's,
bed.
it's it's another one. He forgot what the fuck time it was. And then knowing that first time was gonna come through the barracks. So now he wake up, she in the bed with him. He don't know what the fuck to do with her. Then he gonna
Oh,
come
he's
down and tell
sleeping
me, I'm
good.
like,
He's sleeping good.
no. I was like, no. You
Yeah.
ain't gonna put me in this, right? You should have had it gone because I didn't even know that. Didn't nobody know that he had brought her
He
in the
was
barracks,
he was finna show. Oh yeah.
right?
Surprise.
And then,
Wee.
and
Glad
then,
that
like,
wasn't on our
listen,
list.
Big Bro, them motherfucking soldiers over in Germany. Oh my God, we had this one female soldier every weekend. It never failed. It never failed. That motherfucker, she gets so goddamn drunk, right? She get out of all of her clothes, run up down the barracks hall, butt naked,
This
right?
is co-ed barracks.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah, we had
So,
co-ed.
so if she knocked on your door and you open your door and this motherfucker butt ass naked, oh yeah, you finna fuck. Plain and simple. That's just that's how she did. That's how the motherfucker. That's how those motherfuckers in Germany were back then.
Well, I hear a lot of stories. I'm pretty sure
Right?
from all branches, the stories. I mean, they're ideal. I mean, hey, we had barracks queens for sure. And,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
even back at motherfucker when I come back to Bliss, so now I'm on staff duty because now I'm E6 now, right? So now I gotta check all the goddamn barracks.
He just tripping me out. I can't remember if Daddy. He maybe he did the same thing. It had to be traditional to do
Yeah,
that barracks and part of his
yeah,
duties.
you
But
did,
I can't
but
believe y'all still did that after that rank.
no, because here's the deal, right?
Hold up, man.
Uh,
Don't be trying to cover up
usually,
that the army is still crazy as hell.
no,
Y'all
listen,
doing that shit.
Big Bro,
Hey, I'm
Big
in my
Bro,
barracks and my rank, even the A1C had his privacy. Wasn't
Big
nobody
Bro.
coming in and jack
Okay,
him up like that.
you
And
know,
those
so here's the deal. So
cause
here's the deal. So here's the deal, right? Like my sister-in-law at the time, right? Now she was Air Force, right? And so I would always like try to compare notes, right? So and then their housing was always better than what the army had, right? So because like I was stationed at Fort Bliss, so like we would always go up to what is that Air Force base up there? I want to say Albuquerque, or it was like right.
Oh,
It just like you got Fort Bliss, and then it was like right when you got across the border. I forget what Air Force base that
well,
is.
I couldn't tell you right now for
Yeah, but
save my
anyway,
life.
right?
I
So
couldn't tell
so
you.
we would go up there. So we would go up there every once in a while, right? And then we were like, so I would ask her. She like she was like, well, do y'all have formations? She was like, what's that? Right? And so she was like, okay, well, do y'all do PT? She was like, what's that? And so I'm like, well, damn, what the fuck do y'all do? Okay, we just go to work. I'm like, damn, okay. Right? I'm like, so what? And so now I'm asking, okay, well, what time y'all got to be at work? She said 9 o'clock. I'm like, well, damn, I wish it was like that in the harbor, right?
I
Because
know, man.
I'm just like, because these motherfuckers, right? They watching our each and every move.
Yeah.
We can't even. I'm just like, cause I told her, I said, look, we can't even sleep in peace,
I
right?
know, man. Hey.
so,
Hey.
so again, right?
I'm
So
like,
again,
what?
right?
Hey.
I'm So now I'm like, I'm on staff duty
Yeah.
because I'm an E6. So
Right.
like when on staff duty, right, you either had to be E6 or above, right? Uh so you had to check all of the motherfucking barracks. You
Of
had to
course.
check on each and every CQ, right?
Right.
So never forget it. It was a motherfucking Friday night. I'm checking the barracks, right?
Uh,
Instead of the third floor, there was the motherfucking second floor this time, right?
you coming
Right.
on
And
down now.
so I get to this one room. So again, everybody know who the fuck Sean Harris is, right? Right. So before I even get to the room, I'm hearing this, right? And so I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay. So I'm so in my mind, right? I'm thinking, okay, I sincerely hope that this damn door is locked,
Oh, these
right?
folks with this love.
Sure as shit, I turned the damn knob, pushed the door open, and I'm just like, he's like drilling the hell out of some female.
I say, Sergeant Harris, these are faulty locks. I locked that
No,
motherfucker.
no, he didn't lock it. I'm like, really, motherfucker? He was like, oh shit, my bad, Son Harris. Then he thought about it. Hold on, no, that ain't the worst part. He got old girl bent over, right, and then he like, oh shit, my bad, Son Harris. Hey, you want
Putting
to
you
jump
in
in there?
a
He
situation.
gonna
Yeah.
ask me like, you want to jump in there? I'm like, no, partner, you good. I'm like, I'm just like, no, you. I mean, I'm like,
Yeah.
I just told him, I pulled him off. I'm like, yo, I don't give a damn about what the fuck you doing, but lock your damn door, dog. Like
Yeah.
seriously.
What? Yeah. They hippies. They free word.
I'm just
Free
like,
sex shit.
and then like a lot of times, I used to pull all them knuckleheads aside. I'm just like, look,
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
I'm just like, I was just like, look,
That's
I just told him, look, I really don't give a damn what y'all do, right? but lock your damn door.
That's automatic. If
I mean, you put like this, you know you finna smash,
yeah, lock your
right?
door.
Lock your damn door. I told her, I said, look, even if you don't get no pussy that night, lock your damn door.
Exactly. You in a secured situation. Now that
Yeah,
hey, now that's the deal. No matter what. Now, because we shared bathrooms with the other guy. So we locked the door. And then
yeah,
when my girl had to go to the thing, she knocks on the door and check. But my
yeah,
homies know that somebody's coming to visit. So they locked that door. We always looked out for each other in that vibe. But,
yeah.
but then
Now a
again,
lot of
we didn't
us,
have that kind of that vibration, that CQ
now a
thing.
lot of us,
Yeah,
now
we didn't
like
have that
a
part.
lot of us, a
Yeah,
lot of us that acts like really knew better. That's what the fuck we did, right?
exactly.
But it's put like this. There's always that damn select few.
Yeah, that old free
Always gonna be
spirit
that
shit.
select few,
That
right?
fee,
And so
I don't know
I'm
if
just
that's free
like,
spirit, but
and then, and then, put like this, the same dumb motherfuckers that do fucked up shit
yeah,
in Garrison, then we get orders to go somewhere else, and then they take that dumb attitude
yeah.
across that damn water, and they do the same shit over there,
Well, that's
right?
right. Like they say, bebopping through the jungle. Like everything's nonchalant and get your ass. I can understand that training what the army do for those guys because the
Yeah,
army is gonna be the guys with the Marines gonna probably be in that situation where you
yeah,
got to check
yeah,
every damn
yeah.
thing.
And
You
then,
can't afford to
like,
go down that night.
my when I was in UAE, which
Yeah.
was that was my because my last deployment was Bahrain, but
Hmm.
we was in UAE, and so for the most part, right, we had male barracks,
Hmm.
we had female barracks, and
Right.
so at the time, right, the females stayed where the fuck they were supposed to be. The males stayed where they were supposed to be. So how? What? Please tell me that the USAREC commander over Bahrain or UAE at that time, right? How
Okay.
about this motherfucker gonna lift the band as far as like, okay, all right, y'all can go mingle in each other's barracks, right? Meaning that we can go to their barracks, they can come to our barracks.
Right.
And so for the most part, right, how those barracks was set up, right?
Right.
You had to go the showers on the end you had put like this, wasn't no shower in your room. You had to go down to the motherfucking community to shower.
Crucial. Okay.
Right? And
Right.
so I never get it. I mean, apparently I didn't get that. I didn't get that memo. Right? So I never get it. This is Friday night or whatever. I had just got out of the gym. Right? I was getting ready to go down to the field or whatever, have a few drinks or whatever,
Right.
have a good time, and then come back in my room and call it a night. So basically, what I used to do, I would just wrap the towel around me, and then I would have my new fresh set of clothes with me, right? So I walk down the hallway, so I'm nothing in. And yeah, I just got a towel. So if anybody snatch my shit, then yeah, you gonna see everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the female soldiers, right, that knew me, right, they knew that I went to the gym, and then as soon as they got the fucking word, here they come, right? And so I'm on my way to the motherfucking shower, and so I'm like, I see the door open, so I'm just think, okay, well, it's just some of the fellas coming in, right? I open up the door. They open up the door. Open up. It's like about 4, 5 females just coming in, and so they see me, right? And then I got my fresh set of clothes. What the fuck, my soap and everything.
Right.
And so they looking at me like, and I'm like, damn, Sergeant Harris, I know you didn't have it like that. I'm just like, why the fuck are y'all in here? Right? You know, why the fuck are y'all in here? Right?
Yeah.
And so they were like, oh, you didn't get the word? I'm like, what word is that? They're like, okay, we come see y'all. Right? I said, well, I hope ain't none of you motherfuckers trying to come see me. Right? You know, I mean, now, considering I'm in nothing but a motherfucking, I got my towel and flip flops on.
Yeah.
Right? And so I was like, look, y'all need to turn around. I mean, because they knew me, right? I was like, look,
Right.
turn around, go the other way, right? Because unless y'all just trying to see us like this, right? At least give us a chance to actually read a motherfucking shower. But that's just how it was
Right.
back then. I used to hate going on deployments because these motherfuckers they were setting up pussy before they even got on the fucking plane. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they already knew who the fuck they was gonna smash and why.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, oh God, really? And so put it like this. I did 21 years.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but
Right.
it was just like overall, I can actually I really truly honestly say I had a damn good time,
I understand that.
doing
I
it.
can understand.
But it's just for some fact, right, that okay, I was not gonna lose my career over a piece of ass, and then a lot of motherfuckers lost their shit.
Oh
Motherfuckers.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Motherfuckers like E6, E7, they done did 18, 19 years in, and then they go out and find them a young piece of ass, and then there it
Yeah.
is. Right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn dog, you gonna throw away your career like
Probably.
that?
Yeah. Probably more Air Force than lost it because that was that was always some. And way they did it is that see, Air Force would attack you administratively,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
You'll
yeah,
get attacked administratively, get your rank taken, get your Article 15s, get busted for stuff like that. We didn't have no CQ. So the only thing they would do, you get busted.
yeah,
You gonna lose something for the activity. Because
yeah.
they don't have no CQ to catch you and then, before.
And then it's just like when this second time that I went to Korea, right? And then we was on the Air Force base, and they had built these brand new barracks for the Air Force. And then we being Army, right? You know, we ain't never seen no shit like this before. So we used to call them the Taj Mahal barracks because like when you in the Army, because these motherfuckers, these barracks, they had elevators, right?
Oh,
Where that
I didn't have
and
that with elevators, but
like in the barracks, wasn't no goddamn elevators.
hey,
You gonna have
hey,
to climb.
hey, hey, Apollo,
What's
check
that?
it. Remember now, that's how I grew up
Yeah,
on Army installations. They was
yeah,
always sparse.
yeah.
But as a child, I don't know nothing about none of that part. But
Uh,
I can tell from when I went to Air Force how
yeah,
particular base was compared to
yeah,
that. And yeah, uh, but think about the difference between that. If something happened in the army, like a fight break out
yeah,
it ain't treated so drastically.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You might get an Article 15
yeah,
for a fight between another two soldiers. I don't know if they go
yeah,
to the extreme of court martial.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, so basically, like what we would do, right? Depending on what you did, right?
right.
Now. a fight, I was like, okay, you just get rid of you know, we write you up, whatever.
That's right.
Right. But it's like, okay, now if you took it anything outside of that, meaning like, okay, if you well, we was in Korea, so couldn't nobody drive no vehicle. So it wasn't like that you was gonna get a DWI or anything like that.
Wow. Okay.
But you know, but I'm just like, okay, well, if you did something that you know damn well you didn't have no business doing, as far as like fucking the lower enlisted, and then they go back and tell it, oh yeah, yeah, you know, you gonna get strung up by your balls.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you know,
Okay.
not worse. So
Right.
it's
Well,
so
we
so
had no
like so
fraternizing. That's for sure.
so the discipline, you know, the discipline was always there, right? But it's just for the simple fact, right, that even it was mostly Air Force in that building, right? But it was just like we had like that top floor,
Right.
like, and so even then we had CQ up there, and so I'm just like, okay, but then a lot of our guys will be like on other floors. You know, they would deal with the Air Force guys and females and all that kind of shit. And then I'll never forget. I'm on my way to see one of my homeboys or one of my, because I would go check on my form. I would go check on my soldiers. Especially for those that that I knew that didn't go nowhere or whatever.
Yeah. Well, one thing about
So 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 like so I'll never get it. I'm not even in the building real good, right? And so
Mhm.
one of the soldiers in our unit, right? He coming for me like, Sergeant Harris, thank God that you here. So I'm just like, what the fuck? I mean, cause I'm drunk already, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, look, I didn't come up here to act like really try to separate nothing from nobody. So whatever the fuck y'all got going on, y'all gonna have to do that shit yourself, right? And so they just kept on. Well, sorry, blah, 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 blah. And then one of the Air Force chicks, she come out, right? And apparently my soldiers then told these Air Force folk who the fuck Sergeant Harris is, right? And so they was like, "You Sergeant Harris," and I'm just like, "Well, that motherfucker depends. What's going on?" Right? And so she was this, and then she fucked around and said, "Well, your soldier said that my ass ain't big enough," and then she actually like really turned around where I could actually really see her ass, and then she gonna ask me like, "Is my ass big enough?" I said, "You know what? After that, I left. I left because I'm
Yeah.
just like, no, you're not gonna do that to me."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well,
and then
hey,
she
I
and,
got
then-
to
and
say
then
that.
and, and
How
then
can
she
I?
was white too. She was white too. I'm like, nope, ain't gonna do that.
Hey, hey, we got stories to tell on that. But
Yeah,
but
but
think
but
about the thing
go
about
ahead.
okay from my observation and experience. The thing about that though, at least when y'all stuff is it's rounded out for the whole army structure. But Air Force is not structured like that. You got SAC, you got TAC, you got MAC. And
Yeah,
each is treated different when it comes down to the court martialing thing in the UCMAJ. I mean, let me get my letters
yeah,
right.
yeah. You said
UCMJ.
yeah. You said
Yeah.
yeah.
And and it's different if you
Uh,
in TAC or SAC or MAC in the Air Force. There's a different something going on in there. And when
mhm.
I cross trained from SAC and went to MAC, uh anything I would do, it was extreme punishment no
Yeah,
matter what.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I was warned when I left
And
SAC.
you know what? I don't mean to cut you off, but honestly, if I actually really thought that um, the army went by y'all's format, you know, I just think that a lot of shit, that actually really went down wouldn't have went down because I'm just like, okay, look, you done took me through basic training.
Yeah.
You done took me through AIT.
Yeah.
Now I'm at permanent party. You still don't trust me, motherfucker?
Yeah. At a
Right?
point,
You know,
a privacy is still need. I mean, when you in a, privacy. These guys about to go possibly to war and lose their life. Yet they
yeah,
can't have privacy in the United States of America where they're at. They can't even have a, yeah, a piece of privacy.
yeah. And so,
Yeah, that's
yeah, because it's just like when I was in AIT, and I actually already wrote this in my book. So we do AIT, and so like it's a couple of days before graduation, right? So the command group, they come out, they talk to us or whatever, and so they told us, at the time, we had did more, our standards, from what they were saying. Okay, well, we brought the bar up from previous classes. And so, so okay, like, okay, you hear that, then you clap or whatever. So, so here come the commander, right? And so he said, he said, like, okay, this is totally and completely off the record. What I'm about to ask y'all now is not gonna motherfucking affect how you graduate,
right.
come Thursday,
Right.
right? And so we was just like, okay, cool, right? So remember, I'm stationed at Fort Bliss.
Gotcha.
So 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 he like, how many of y'all went across the border to Juarez? So I raised my motherfucking hand.
This what Warriors is, this is Mexico or
Juarez, that's like, okay, I mean, because like Fort Bliss is at the time, right? They done moved, right? But Fort Bliss was probably not even 20 minutes away from the US Mexican border.
gotcha.
So
Okay.
so for the most part, right, as soon as you come across the border, right, it's clubs, it's bars, it's every goddamn thing.
Gotcha.
Like right then and there, right? So a lot of us will actually really go during our EIT days, right? So when the commander asked him, like, well, how many of y'all went to Juarez? So I raised my damn hand. And so then he was like, okay, Private Harris, why did you go? I said, because you told me not to go. Right. And so for the most part, I was like, so he was like, okay, well, I don't get that. So I said, look, I come from a family that once you tell me not to do something, I got to go figure out, I got to go there. I need to know why you told me not to go over there, right? And so they was like, okay, Private Harris, did you take a battle? But I said, yeah, I took all these motherfuckers with me, So and then they were so they tried to fan me down, right? I was like, look, he already done told us ain't shit finna happen,
Right.
right? But it's just, but I told him, I said, look, the last thing that which you can tell somebody, if you say, hey, look, don't go over there, guess what? 9 times 10, that's where the fuck I'm going. I have to see why you told me not to go over there.
They
Right?
never gave you an explanation why you shouldn't.
Yeah, they never did. They just said, hey, look, don't go over there. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go over there. Right? And so, and then out of all the times that I went over there, whether it was AIT or when I actually was actually really stationed at Fort Bliss. Now, one time anything happened to me, didn't nobody try to capture me or anything like that. It's just like, okay, at that particular time is what the fuck we did. Right? I mean, great the fact, no, we weren't supposed to be over there, but we went anyway. Right? I mean, because we always was close to the border. So that way, if some shit did go down, right, we can make it, we can make a quick exit.
So
And
the
so
MPs wasn't allowed to patrol at the outside
I
border
mean, put
to
it like
watch
this, they
them.
was like, because they'll be like, they will get to the border,
Mm.
right? and then of course they couldn't go across, right? And then depending on how long we stayed, right? They would either be there or we'll take another gate where we knew that the MPs where we knew where the
Right.
MPs wouldn't be at.
Right.
So it was just like, but then even then, a lot of times we be there, the MPs they be there, right? And then they look us over like, hey, look, y'all good, blah 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 blah. So they were like, once we did that,
Right.
right? Then they would motherfucker leave us alone. So uh, so it's like I say, at that time, it was like it was fair game if that's what the folks you actually really want to call it. But just know that uh, the time that I was at Fort Bliss, I had a damn good time. The time that I was in the two tours that I did in Germany, I had a fantastic time. The two
everybody,
tours that I
everybody that
did
I
in
knew in the
Korea,
Air Force had a fantastic, and the
yeah,
Army. They had a
yeah.
good time.
So it was like everywhere I went, I had a damn good time. And I can actually really say overall, overall my 21-year career, right? Um, other than that shit that happened to me, and then I had a chain of command that really didn't like me at one point, and then they were just laying and waiting for me to fuck up, and then that shit would happen with me and my first wife, and we both got arrested. But then I wrote out a report. I wrote down how that shit actually really went down. I took it to TDS, and then so they were just like, okay, well, on this, for what you telling me, and then what the fuck, what the MP, because they got my statement, and then they actually really got what the MP said.
Right.
They're like, okay, well, Sir Harris, this is self-defense in your behalf. Your commander should throw this out. But I had an
Right.
asshole. I had an asshole for a battle commander. I had an asshole for a motherfucking battalion commander. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Your younger brother was tracking. Had that shit not happened, I would have made E7 in 7.
Right.
And so I was just like, so and at that time I already knew they had it out for me. So I was just like, well, fuck it, blah, 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 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I ended up retiring, I ended up retiring as an E6, but, I was platoon sergeant and all that kind of shit. So, um, I go back and I look at it now, okay, and I'm just like, okay, well, if I would have made E7, I know I would have did damn good, and then they would have gave me E8, right, or whatever, and then 9 times in 10, I would have been a first sergeant. And but just know, I just know right to this day, I would have been a damn good first sergeant because the motherfuckers that I served with, they told me, Star Harris, you would have been a damn good first sergeant. I'm like, well, shit, don't tell me that shit now. I'm gonna get out.
Well,
But it's just that for the simple fact that I got soldiers right to this day. I got soldiers, I got fellow NCOs right to this day that I keep in contact with. Uh, Matter of fact, one of my battle buddies came and visited me last month.
okay, right on.
So I mean, uh, you know, it's there. It's always been there. So would I do the shit again? Hell no. Because
No, no. I like I
I'm
say,
like, no. I'm just like, no. I'm not trying to rewind time to redo nothing. I had put
no,
like
no,
this.
no.
I had fun. Listen, I had fun while I was in. I'm not trying to relive. I'm not trying to relive nothing.
I know that. I'm trying to remember if I actually had fun while I was in the military. I look back and think about it. Did I actually have fun when I went to California after I left Little Rock Air Force Base? And actually, when I left and went to California, bad luck happened to me while I was in California.
Oh
I
yeah.
went to jail. I got thrown out of a club by the big old bouncers, about some crazy broad from Atlantic Star Band. R&B said I said something to her. I got thrown out by the bouncers. Then some old shit went down when I was in California. It was eh. But I think I if I stayed too long by station in California, I think of something would have more bad, something bad would have happened to me. Thank God I got out of there, got on out the way, because after they court martialed me, put me in jail for 4 months over that little
Mhm.
fight. Actually, it
Yeah.
wasn't a fight. I got charged with accelerated assault, unbecoming of an NCO. Got
Yeah.
busted down 2 stripes. They busted me $400 a month for 4 months and 4 months in jail. You
Yeah.
know, and
So
after that,
yeah.
I
So
lost
but
all
I just
interest.
like I mean because I remember because I remember well Dad didn't actually really go into detail. But he was like, okay, well, your brother got into some shit or whatever. But other than that, he said that, hey, look, he was good. He was good, and then it's just for the fact that tell me a soldier, regardless of branch, right, that actually like, really don't go through like a rough time, right? And then it's just for the fact that even with the shit that happened with me, right? I look at it, I can actually really go back and look at it now, and I could be like, okay, you know what? That probably was probably like the best thing that ever happened to me because I enjoyed the responsibility that I had. I mean, because not only was I platoon sergeant, I was the R shop NCOIC, I was the equal opportunity rep, I was the master fitness trainer, I was the R shop NCOIC. Because I wore a whole lot of hats, probably more than what the fuck that I needed to, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but it was something that I enjoyed. It was something that the soldiers they actually really liked the fact that I had those positions, and then what I did didn't just affect the battery; it affected the whole battalion. Everybody knew who the fuck your brother was.
Yeah. I
Right,
mean,
everybody was like, Sir Harris, what's good? And I'm like, hey, I'm good. And then they coming to me with their problems. I'm like, well, where your goddamn NCO?
yeah.
Right?
I mean, at this particular back then, that juncture when they always express not fraternizing with
Yeah,
the
yeah. I
lower
mean,
enlisted or blase. See, at that time, I came from where
so did
you
did
didn't
they
do
try to
no
do that back then?
snitching, that kind of vibration. So when something went down, we didn't run to the first shirt right away, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't do that. And then this particular incident with me, it was between me and another airman that I
Okay.
tried to, but it extended beyond. I could have
Yeah.
went to the first shirt and said, look, the man owed me money. He won't pay me my money. But I didn't do that.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. Then this incident happened when this showed up in my room, and then this thing happened quick and fast. And
Yeah.
to this day, I'm like, damn, I can't say it couldn't have been avoided. To me, in my spiritual thing, it was meant for me to get out, but something worse would have happened to me.
Uh,
Yeah, that's what my mind says. Well,
but
this was the way to get out. If you stayed, you'd have got burnt deeper.
yeah. And
They
but
court martialed him on my first ever getting in trouble. Court
yeah.
martial right off the gate.
Uh,
No 15, no reprimand, nothing. Straight to court martial, seeing the judge. Just
yeah.
that fast it happened.
Yeah. But you know what though? When when I really felt like that it was time for me to go. It was a lot of stuff that that took place, right?
Mhm.
Because matter of fact, one of my buddies, you know, he almost lost his shit. And then I think I remember telling you this, right? Female soldier, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I
You
remember
know, and
telling you
then
this.
I mean, she was nice looking, blah blah blah, but
Yeah,
the
I
stupid
remember that.
flight was too tight or whatever. But the thing that really did it for me, right, is when my last deployment, right? I'm in Bahrain, whatever. I just got out of the gym, and I want to say that was the Barren Sea that I saw. I mean, you got to put it up on the map because I was in
I
Bahrain.
did. They,
So whatever sea that was, right? I don't know if it was the Barren Sea or the Red Sea. I forget what it was, right? But I'm looking out across that water. I'm looking out across that water, and I'm just like, why the fuck am I here?
yeah.
you know. And then I really, put like this, depending on who you talk to, they may say that, well, the Garden of Eden is here or the Garden of Eden is there. So for me, right, I just went on Google and then depending on where they say the Garden of Eden is, I was like, by plane, I was less than 4 hours away from where they say that it all started. And so I just
Shit.
so
That's
so
such
so
a.
I was just like, so when I saw that, right,
That's,
I was in my 18th, going into my 19th year,
oh yeah, you're a troop
right?
for
And
sure.
so I was just like, you know what? I'm done. And so I went back, because that was my day off,
Right.
right? I went back, I showered, and then that following day when me and my crew, we had like an 8-hour shift, and I just told her right then and there, I said, you know what, fellas, it's been good, but I'm gonna hang it up, right? And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I
then
dig.
and then they were just like, so they were just like, well, why is I hers? I'm just like, okay, look, I got my reasons, right? But then at the time, shit, I was like, what, 41, 42, and so I'm
Right.
just like,
Well, that's cool to retire.
yeah, and so I was just like, so for the most part, and right to this day, they really don't know the reason why I retired, but it was just that if indeed Google Maps was right at that particular time, right?
Shit.
I was just like, you know what? No, I
Ain't no
can't.
way.
I can't, because, and then on top of that, the army had got too political at the time. They actually really took the power away from the NCOs. And then me knowing what type of NCO that I was, how other NCOs looked at me, how soldiers looked at me, whether it was in the unit that I was in or battalion wide. So I'm just like, you know what? I can't do this no more.
Oh,
And so I just told him, I said, look, once we get back, I'll put in paperwork and I'm gonna holler at y'all later. I
hey,
mean,
yeah. Well, look at
and
this.
so I just told him, I said, look, I'm on Facebook or whatever, but just know if you want to contact me, fine. But I really suggest that y'all don't. I'm tired. I don't want to see y'all no more. I love
Hey,
y'all. I love y'all, but let me have it.
well, with that being said, I mean, if you look at the history of the United States Armed Forces, come on, you know, Cabelonian people couldn't even be in it.
Yeah, I know,
Black
right?
folks
And
couldn't be
then,
in it at the
yeah,
time, and how the treatment was. Now, there's probably more Cabelonian NCOs and officers than prior now. So
yeah,
I can understand why they would change stuff.
yeah.
Your
And then I
philosophies,
had
our philosophies about it, and
yeah,
how the treatment of people is different.
yeah,
It's a
and
different
then,
behavior when we deal with certain situations.
yeah,
So the
and
armed
then,
forces is going to change
yeah,
certain things. To me, I know that.
yeah, and then what's so bad about it, like a few years prior to that, my first trip to Korea, where the whole battalion came. And then so we got like two new soldiers. One was from Morocco.
Mm.
And me and that soldier, we actually really became real good friends, you know. And matter of fact, he died back in July this year.
Mm.
And he the first sergeant, right? He looked at this guy, he like, "You're not no terrorist, are you?" And I'm just like, "No, this motherfucker
Yeah.
didn't do that."
Yeah.
You
Crucial.
know, and so and then come to find out when he was in basic training, he was always the doggone terrorist. You know, and then
Ain't that
he
something?
he went through basic training with that. He went through AIT with that, and then
Ooh-wee.
even like when he got to his permanent party. Look, I got the shit. I will send it to you once. We you know we done with this, and so
Yeah,
like
man.
so I was the EO rep, and so I'm listening to this, and I'm just like I'm looking at first sergeant at the time. I'm like, you motherfucker, you, right? He's a white guy,
Yeah.
right? You know, but so after I'm hearing all that, because this guy he straight out of AIT, you straight out of AIT, then you come where that not to say that Korea was a combat zone, but you knew how crazy that motherfucker was at the time, right? So you had to be ready. And then for that soldier, that young soldier, to actually really come in and then for the first and then the first thing that he hear out the motherfucking first sergeant's mouth, well, you ain't no terrorist. And then after what the fuck this guy went through in
Right.
basic and AIT. And
Right.
so I just told him, I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I got you. And so it's just for the simple fact, I went up the chain. I did what the fuck that I was supposed to do. And so I just told first on, I said, you know what? You don't want to do it. God damn it. I'll go to the battalion commander. And then if he don't want to do anything, right? And I
Right.
told this and I told this soldier this. I said, you know what? Once we get back stateside, you contact ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. You contact whoever the fuck you need to contact. And that's what that soldier did. And then ABC News. And then, like I said, I got it. I'll send it to you once
Yeah.
we get out of here. But he did that. He did
Right.
that. And so it's just for the simple fact that I can truly, honestly say that's my soldier. And he died, right? And
Did he
then
die back home?
yeah, he died back home. Just like I said, he died back in July this year, right?
Wow.
So because it's just for the simple fact that he got out on a medical, and so he would have this like these real bad seizures and shit.
Mm.
So probably because they were shooting us up with every goddamn thing possible,
Yeah.
right? And so like you know he did that. You know he tried to fight it off the best way he could, but it's just like that last seizure that he had, it took him out. He no,
Yeah.
he slipped into a coma,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
he never came out of it. And
Wow.
so just like I said, and then um, he got a son 3 years old.
Yes, sir.
And so I try to keep in contact with the family as much as I can. I try to keep up with, you know, his wife the best way I can
Right
or
on.
whatever. But it's just for the simple fact that me and that soldier had real serious history. I mean, it is just for the simple fact. Now, great the fact he didn't mention me because I told him not to, right? But I just say, look, this is your story. You tell your story the best way you can know how. And that's what he did. And then I really don't know how you feel about Alex Jones, but Alex Jones found out about this guy,
Yeah.
right? And so it was a lot of times he would go on the Alex Jones show. And then he would actually really talk about, okay, hey, look, this is what's happening and this is why it's happening,
Right.
right? And so, just like I say, me and that soldier, we were the best of friends. Um, every time he would, we get on the phone, and then he would always remind me of that trip that me and him took down to Camp Carroll, and we actually really told the command, the battalion commander,
Right.
hey, where you can motherfucking stick it, right? And so, and to be perfectly honest with you, big bro, the way that I really took care of soldiers is probably one of the main reasons why they waited for me to fuck up so they can actually really chop me down. Right. And then after, but then after a while, I just said, you know what? I'm done. When I left 162, I think it was, put like this, the whole battalion, the whole battalion was like, wanted to shake my hand. They wanted to hug me, like, hey, good job, son here. So I'm like, hey, look, y'all gonna be all right. Y'all gonna be fine. you know. So, but anyway, big bro, you know
Yeah.
what? This is like, I mean, we talked about some good shit here, but what I'm gonna do right now, here's the deal. Because I'm pretty sure it's the same way on your end it is on mine, right?
Yeah.
So,
From my
so
viewing.
basically, so basically, what's gonna happen is, right? Look, you go in, you edit what you can edit, right? I mean, because I probably could, but I really don't know how to.
That's if I actually this on StreamYard. I don't know because I didn't hit my program to record.
Okay, but
See,
see, I could go in. So okay, well, see, I could go
you
in.
can send me the file.
Yeah, I will send it to you. I will send it to you,
Yeah.
right? And then you go in there, and then you could be like, okay, it's my put like this. If anybody's watching now, they just okay, I got it. But I'm just like, okay, you go in there, and then if you can edit it in such of a way, right,
Right.
where that it actually really makes sense, right? And then you take out what you feel like is inappropriate, okay, then yeah, by all means, do that. And then uh once you do that, you send me the finished product, and then I can actually really post it. I can actually really post it up.
Okay, we'll try that and see how that work out.
So just like I say, I gotta tell you this.
All right.
I gotta tell you this. Um, Back in the day, before all this shit happened, me and you used to talk on a regular basis. And so for the most part, right, then for whatever reason, we fell off. And it's just for the most part, like I missed that. And then when Dad died, I really didn't know who the fuck to talk to. I really didn't. I mean, because for the most part, I really didn't know how you was feeling at that particular time. So, for the most part, I just, I just pulled back, right? But in the back of my mind, right? And then I told my wife now, the wife that I'm married to now, and then before we started talking, before you made your first visit here,
Mm.
right? I was like, damn, you know what? I miss my big brother, right? And then I was like, and so she was like, well, shit, call him up, see what he doing, right? And then I was just like, and then we started talking again. And then so here it is, officially unofficial. This is our third video,
Oh yeah, yeah.
right? And
Okay.
so,
Yeah,
for me,
yeah.
as your
Third.
younger brother, I appreciate, I appreciate talking to you every chance we get, whether it's on the phone or what we doing now. So,
Yeah, that's
I appreciate
Irie. That's Irie.
I appreciate you, big bro. Like no bullshit.
That's Irie, man. That's Irie. Yeah, we done touched a lot of topics in
Yeah.
over some vibes. Well, that's cool, man. To try to uh uh I don't know how now you on the stream yard. This going to
But
YouTube
here's the
too.
thing, like say I'm on the like say I'm gonna
This
send it to
rehearsal.
you. I'm gonna send it to you, right?
Yeah.
Or or I send it to you, and but then I think what will happen, what can actually also happen. Well, put it like this: just gonna send it to you, and then if you can download it that way, right? Then hey, by all means. But
Okay,
then
because
if you can't,
on the stream.
if you can't, right? Then I'll be like, you know what? I just shut it down, right? Where that way that won't nobody, won't nobody else see it, So,
Uh,
but
yeah, I didn't know. Well, I didn't even go through the research to see if there was record button down on this because it's opening up in the browser, and I'm
yeah, I
using
mean, because
my
like right now,
vMix.
yeah, because like right now, through StreamYards, just like say, if you was to actually like really go on my channel right now, right, then you actually really see it. I mean, it's probably gonna be delayed, right? I mean, because like I did it the other day when I did some other shit, and so I'm just like, okay, it's probably like a 2 to 3 second delay,
And the,
right?
what? And the talking.
Yeah, no, I mean, put it like this: if I was to actually really
Oh, I
go,
got you. I got you. I got
if I was actually really go and on either one of these TVs right now,
you. Right. Right. No. Right.
and
Right.
I could be like, okay, well, it's probably gonna be like anywhere from a 2 to 3 second delay,
Oh yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
right?
No doubt.
And so it's just for the simple fact, look, if you can go in there and really like go in there and edit what I mean, because to be perfectly honest, we act like really got away. I mean, we talked about it, but
Yeah.
then we started talking about other shit.
Yeah.
So it's just for the simple fact, like, okay, if you can actually go in there and try to chop it up, blah 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 blah, or whatever, because here it is, we might well go ahead and say we done did like damn near 3 hours of motherfucking material.
On
Right?
material, different topics that
Yeah.
bled over, made us go over. We went to the armed forces is a good topic, just the experience of the different branches and what we go through under the UCMJ. Each branch is, that's a good topic for
I mean,
because
because I don't mean to cut you off, but
yeah,
but like when Veterans Day happened, right? My granddaughter, she up here. They did a real good ceremony, for all the veterans, right?
gotcha.
So we got up there. A lot of us got up there earlier, because they were gonna do it at 9:30 or whatever. So a lot of us up there like at 8:45 or whatever. So we all back there, we talking whatever, we telling old Army stories, Air Force stories, Navy stories, whatever branch that you were in, right? And then it's just for the simple fact that regardless of branch, right, we all understood each other, right? Because it's always gonna be a common ground. You know what I mean? Because when it's all said and done, it's called the United States Armed Forces. So regardless whether you had doggone PT formation, accountability formation, whether you did physical training or if you didn't, it's just for the simple fact like the stories that you tell, whether it was in garrison or if you actually really got deployed or whatever, uh, the similarities are there. Everybody gets punished the exact same way, depending on what the fuck you did. And so um, they actually really act like they really had to stop us from telling stories because hey, look. look, the ceremony finna happen, so but it's just for the simple fact that anybody that has served, right, regardless of grants, you know, everybody got a motherfucking story to tell. That's why I wrote that book. That's why I
Yeah,
wrote that book, big bro.
yeah. That's
Right?
see, and that is, but the reality is because we live in a country now, we can never forget. That's the point of these stories to realize there's unfair treatment still
Yeah. It
exists.
would always be that. It would
Yeah,
always be
and
that.
so because the UMCMJ sometimes is not friendly
It
for
ain't what it
some,
ought to
is for
be. It
others.
ain't what
That's
it ought to
right.
be.
So, and then you have to deal with that. Then the outside law enforcement when you leave base. Then you
Yeah.
have to get punished by the outside. Then you come back to the yard on the base and get punished by the UCMJ. So you get double jeopardy being in the armed forces. People understand that.
Yeah.
You got them fuck up, boom, you get fucked up. They gonna get you on the other side too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
So
just
I mean,
saying to say this: if you get
yeah.
in, realize if you're one of those characters who love to live both sides of the borders, and yeah, you
Yeah.
understand. You get in this place, you can be you can get hemmed up. You get
Yeah, that's
hemmed
what I'm
up.
saying. And so,
Yeah,
I tell people all the time, right? If indeed there's even if it's a so-called I came in at the right time and I got out at the right time. I can actually like, really truly honestly say that when I way back in April of 97, right? I can be like, okay, considering what I've seen
wow.
through my whole time, right? I can be like, okay, you know, it was somewhat decent. And then when it actually really got too crazy, right? I got out. I got out.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
mean, sometimes you reach a point of wisdom and knowledge, and because it's politics, it's there too, and that's the deal. If you leave from a civilian and come in the military, if I mean, if you leave from a civilian and understand politics out there, then you come over here thinking the politics is going to be different. You're going to be, it's not going to be. It's
Yeah.
politics, and I'm just telling for new troops that might want to join.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
if you
and I
want,
tell
yeah,
people, hey,
yeah,
they're like say, like when I'm in the gym or whatever, and then, I tell a lot of the young cats, I'm like, look, get out of Arkansas. I'm like, for the most part, I'm like, okay, I don't care how you do it, right? But go, like go experience life. Now
yeah,
it was this one,
exactly.
he was
Yeah,
like, really getting in shape. And I'm just like, so, I just, talked to him. I was like, okay, so, what's good? What you getting in shape for? So he was like, well, I'm trying to join the Marine Corps. So I'm just like, oh, okay, all right. And so I'm just like, so you trying to get out of Arkansas? So he was like, well, yes, sir. Blah 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 blah. I was like, okay. And then even then, I just told him then, I'm like, look, it's a good move, but at the same time, you need to actually really watch yourself. Get with somebody. Once you get in, you do basic training. However did the Marine Corps do it?
yeah,
Once you get where you get established somewhat, and then get you that small group of people that, for the most part, that that you can trust, right? And then always have receipts when you actually really need to have receipts, because the first time that they try to accuse you of something, right, and you know that you didn't do it, but as long as you got those doggone receipts, right, then you be good.
yeah.
Like no bullshit. So,
I tell them,
but in either case, big bro, I gotta get out of here. I got to get ready.
Right
Let's go
on. Yes, sir.
get my grandbaby out of school.
Right. Right
But
on,
it's
man.
always put it like this. Whether we doing it here, whether we on the phone, it's always good conversation with you, big bro.
Yes, sir. This is John Credo X,
And we gonna
the
holler at
crazy
y'all.
uncle.
Yeah. And guess what? We gonna put like this. Good show. And then put like this. We gonna holler at y'all until the next time, people. I'm gonna holler at you later, big bro.
All right, peace, bless.
All right now. Yep.